Hey, that ball's in play. Oh, man, that was awesome.
I was fucking trying to make it break there, too.
No, I wasn't going to.
That ball's been in play.
Yeah, I was like, that has been in play.
Blue Jays cooled off the Yankees last night. They shut them out for just the 6th time this season. The Yankee bats went cold, and Brandon Morrow was responsible for that. Derek Jeter had an opener. There were only 2 Yankees in the whole lineup that got any hits: Robinson Cano and Russell Martin. Jeter, Ichiro Suzuki, and Alex Rodriguez, top 3 in the order, and Ichiro has really been a nice piece to this ball club since the trade from Seattle. He's at .322, 11 doubles, 5 home runs, and 23 RBIs. He's also chipped in with 12 steals. Robinson Cano is a .300 hitter. He hits cleanup. Swisher, Granderson, Ibanez, Russell Martin back behind the plate, and Eric Chavez is the DH tonight.
That is the lineup that Chad Jenkins will pitch to as he goes for his first big league win in his 2nd career start. He's a former first-round draft pick in 2009 for the Blue Jays, made 10 relief appearances before his first start last Sunday versus Tampa Bay. I thought he did really well last Sunday against the Rays. He was on a pitch count last time out, and the Blue Jays have indicated he can go just a little bit further here tonight, probably about 85 pitches.
Defense behind Chad Jenkins. Anthony Gose put on a show last night. He doubled up with Robinson Cano after catching a line drive off the fence. Rasmus Davis in the outfield, Escobar Johnson up the middle. Brett Lawrie's at third, Adelman's at first, and J.P. Arencibia back behind the plate, making his 88th start of the season.
We got a chance to talk about Anthony Gose, and he's looking more comfortable in left field. Remember, he's a center fielder by trade, and that play he made last night for a double play is one of the finest you will see this season.
Gose making his 12th start in left field. Jenkins has the sign. Here's the first pitch of the ball game. This is down and into Derek Jeter. Jeter is a .380 hitter in the first at bat of a ball game. He's a leadoff hitter, and he has 5 leadoff home runs this season. See J.P. Arencibia trying to encourage Jenkins just to shoot for the big part of the plate.
I believe early on in this game you'll see a lot of these veteran Yankee hitters take a lot of pitches just to get an idea of what Jenkins has. They like to get a lot of information, so they're not afraid to hit with a strike or 2 on them.
Well, and they're a veteran team. You're right. They'll go up there and make you work. The Yankees are 15-13 when facing a rookie starting pitcher this season. There's a strike. Jenkins got that one out of the way. Chad Jenkins has faced the Yankees, although he's not faced Jeter. There's a good sinker. It's fouled off at the plate. Jenkins came in relief against New York in his 2nd appearance of the season. So he has a little bit of that Yankee mystique out of the way. Jeter found that ball right down into his foot. Jenkins faced the Yankees right here at Rogers Center on the 11th of August. Jeter strikes out. A little bounce back. Fell behind 3-0. Strikes out the captain. 1 down.
A little feather in the cap with that one right there. Derek Jeter, a Hall of Famer, and Chad Jenkins gets the strikeout. How about that sinker? He stays on top of it, really drives it under the bat of Derek Jeter for the first out. If he has that pitch and he's throwing it for a strike, he can be tough to beat.
Be better off if he threw it on the first pitch of the at-bat. Like that. Changes everything. We saw Brandon Morrow do that last night, and he really just mowed down the Yankees. Pitched to hit all night long. Brandon Morrow with a terrific start last night. 7 innings, 4 hits, no runs, 3 walks, and 3 strikeouts. Good to see Morrow bounce back. That was his 7th start since coming off the disabled list, and he looked like Brandon Morrow again.
Yeah, he looked like he did in the first half of the season before he got injured. He had a good fastball, and he was able to put it where he needed to.
Suzuki 1-2. We mentioned Ichiro Suzuki, the impact he's had with this Yankee team. For the season, he's hitting .281, but with the Yankees, a .322 average. On the ground, Kelly Johnson waits on it. 2 quick outs for Chad Jenkins.
take a look at the scouting report for tonight's starter, brought to you by Home Hardware. Homeowners helping homeowners. Chad Jenkins' fastball 71% of the time. He's got very good movement on it. He's got a lot of sinking action. His slider's in the mid-80s. Matter's hitting just 238 against him, and I think the changeup is going to be key for him. He's got to throw for a strike, and he's got to make the Yankees offer at it. I think that'll really complement his fastball if he can use that changeup and get it over.
Alex Rodriguez, the third baseman tonight. And see if he got handcuffed with that sinker. Rodriguez just 1 for 11 on this road trip. The Yankees played 3 against the Twins in Minneapolis before coming here. And a little looping line. That'll get down for a base hit. Rodriguez may have broken his back. A 2-out single for Alex Rodriguez.
Might not be as quick as he used to be, Rodriguez. Might not have the power like he did 10 years ago, but he's still a dangerous bat, and Joe Girardi has talked about him hitting third in his lineup or fourth. Beat just a little bit on that hard sinker, but strong enough to get it into center field for a base hit.
Rodriguez at first for Robinson Cano. And here's a hot hitter. Cano had 3 of the 5 hits in the game last night for the Yankees. He's had 8 hits in his last 12 at bats. You mentioned Chad Jenkins was nervous in his first inning of work last time out against Tampa Bay.
Don't see it this time. Against Tampa, I was talking to him the next day, and I was asking about it. He said, I was a little nervous in that first inning, gave up a home run, and he then had a walk right after that. But after I got that first inning out of the way, the coaches came up to me and said, okay, got that done.
Cano takes one right back up the middle. Rodriguez will stop at second. Back-to-back 2-out hits. Robinson Cano is swinging a red-hot bat. 9 for his last 13 now.
Yeah, finding the hole everywhere. He was actually fooled on this pitch, and it looked like a changeup, especially the way that Cano went after that ball, but found the hole back through the middle.
Hit a changeup for his first base hit in last night's game in the 4th inning off Brandon Morrow. It looked like a carbon copy of that base hit right there. Nick Swisher, switch hitting first baseman, batting left-handed against Chad Jenkins. Jenkins comes right back and gets ahead with a good fastball. That's the one thing I have been impressed with when I've watched Jenkins this year. He seems to be comfortable and not intimidated by big league hitters. He's going to get hit now, but he's not afraid to throw it over. That ball is hit hard, and that's going to get down in the gap and go all the way to the wall. This is going to score 2 runs. Rodriguez is in. Right behind him is Robinson Cano, and Nick Swisher puts the Yankees out in front with a 2-out, 2-run double. His 34th double of the season.
And also his 91st and 92nd RBI of the year for Swisher. He has had a very productive year. Joe Girardi talks about him, and he talks about him saying that he's not missing his pitch when he gets it. Hitters will go up and down in cycles, and right now he has been dynamite. The quote from Girardi talking about Nick Swisher, and he got his pitch that time. A sinker that stayed over the middle of the plate. And watch, look at his eyes, right down on that baseball. That's a nice piece of hitting right there from Nick Swisher.
3 consecutive hits with 2 outs. Swisher capping it off with his 34th double. 2-0 New York.
For the month of September, it's always been the worst month for Swisher in his career. Just a .231 career hitter in September. But he, too, is on a salary drive. And he's kicking it into gear, picking up some big hits and big RBIs for the Yankees.
Yankees scoring here in the first snaps a streak of 12 consecutive scoreless innings by the Jays against New York. Ball on the strike to Curtis Granderson. How about that? We won't see that every day. Chad Jenkins had the glove knocked right off his hand, but the ball stayed in the pocket for the final out. Shot right back to the mound. He stays with it. The ball stays in the glove, and he shows the umpire. That'll close it out. That's tough luck for Granderson. Home run in last night's game. Colby Erasmus, Edwin Encarnacion, J.P. Arancibia moves up into the cleanup spot. He is on fire. 5-game hit streak, 9 for 13, a double pair of home runs and 6 RBIs, and he has a grand slam included in that hot streak. Adam Lind, Yunel Escobar, Kelly Johnson. Ron J. Davis is in right, and Anthony Ghost continues to get everyday play in left.
Yankees need a big game from Hiroki Kuroda. This will be his 32nd start, which ties his career high. Been stuck in a little bit of a rut lately. He's allowed at least 3 earned runs in 6 straight starts for the Yankees. They give him a 2-run lead here in the first inning. 14-game winner with an ERA just over 3. He's had a good year also.
Defensively behind Kuroda in the outfield, it's a veteran presence. Ibanez, Vanderson, and Ichiro Suzuki left to right. Jeter and Cano, great double play combination up the middle. Alex Rodriguez is at third base. Nick Swisher at first, and Russell Martin, a Canadian, behind the plate, handling Hiroki Kuroda.
And A-Rod gets to start at third base. Fouled a ball off his foot the other day in Minnesota. Took a couple of days off. They kept him off the carpet yesterday and returns to third base tonight.
Brett Laurie takes a high fastball. Blue Jays jumped all over Hiroki Kuroda the last time he pitched here way back in May. Kyle Drabek on the mound. The Blue Jays hit 3 home runs against Kuroda, and the Blue Jays won 8-1. The last time they saw him in July, he won a 6-0 rain-shortened complete game. He beat Ricky Romero in Yankee Stadium.
Shut him out over those 7 innings.
There's a bullet down the left field line. That's a fair ball. Up against the wall. Laurie is headed for second. His timing starting to come around. Leadoff double for Brett Laurie.
The barrel of bat is so important for Laurie, and I had a quick chat with Dwayne Murphy this afternoon about Brett, and he says he's starting to get the bat out in front. His home run last night went the opposite way, but he hit it out front. He wasn't jammed, and that time was able to get the bat head out on a breaking ball, hit it down the left field line.
The Blue Jays have outplayed the Yankees in this ballpark. They are 4-2 for the season, and they've also outscored them 34-24 so far. Colby Erasmus. Colby's just 1 for 15 against Kuroda. These two met up in the National League. Erasmus with the Cardinals, Kuroda with the Dodgers. So that's why Erasmus has those 15 at bats. Hot shot. Swisher goes to second, and Laurie is out. Boy, Nick Swisher did a great job. Laurie just got over aggressive again, and just like that, that runner in scoring position is erased. Swisher was playing in at first, and watch where he is. He's close over there at first. Laurie takes a step toward third, And that's costly.
Yeah, and heads-up play by Nick Swisher. Your first reaction was, let me get an out, but his first reaction was, maybe I can get that runner, trying to advance from second to third. So a heads-up play by Nick Swisher, filling in for Mark Teixeira.
Well, he's done a great job at first. One out. Edwin Encarnacion. Inside, ducks away from a fastball. Edwin's hit .360 against the Yankees this year. He's worn them out.
Allowed .360 also. I mean, a lot of his hits are line drives. He was wearing out that gap at Yankee Stadium the last 2 times we were there in left center field.
3 for 4 in the game last night. Pops this ball up. Cano backpedaling into the outfield. 2 down.
Let's take a look at the scouting report for Hiroki Kuroda. He's having a very good year for the New York Yankees. His fastball has lost a little steam to it, I think, because he's had a career high in innings pitched. His slider throws it hard with some biting action on it, but I think the put-away pitch for him, and that's the forkball. You got to make him throw it for a strike. An impressive 4-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio also this season for Kuroda.
J.P. Arancibia. He absolutely wears out Hiroki Kuroda. He is 5 for 6 against Kuroda with the home run. He's also hit well against the Yankees. .370 this season. Stay hot, JP. Well, he's swinging it. Arancibia continues to swing the hot bat. He is now 10 for his last 14.
Yeah,
he's 6 for 7 against Kuroda.
Simple approach. We were talking in Baltimore and in New York on that road trip that JP's strength in his hand just would not allow him to level out that swing. He's working very hard every day, lifting weights, trying to get that hand stronger. Straightened out. He's leveled out that swing.
Adam Lind with 2 outs and 2 on. Was after the first pitch. Kuroda's not fooling anybody. Laurie doubled. Rasmus hit a bullet to Swisher at first. After the pop-up by Encarnacion, Arancibia had a hot smash to left. Get to him before he figures it out.
Yeah, he figured it out the last time the Blue Jays saw him. They hit him hard in this ballpark.
Kuroda's in his 5th season in the majors. Signed with the Dodgers originally. Came over from Japan, and he's got a big ERA in the month of September. 5.63. He's kind of wearing down a bit. The most innings he's ever thrown in a single season.
You know, I think that's why his fastball has lost a little steam, like we talked about in the scouting report for Kuroda. Just doesn't have that late life like you're going to need. Not when you've thrown as many innings and has had as many starts as Kuroda had.
Kuroda signed in 2007 with the Dodgers. 3 years, $35.3 million. 1-2, 2 outs. Yankees lead it 2-0. Lynn stays alive. When Kuroda was shopping around looking for a ball club, he had big concerns about his catcher. And he had some of the former Dodger Japanese players talk to him about Russell Martin. They were teammates with the Dodgers. And Martin got high praise from some Japanese pitchers he had handled with the Dodgers, and that made Kuroda feel comfortable. And that's why that splitter is so important to Kuroda. Martin can play it in the dirt as well as anybody.
It's a good pitch for him. It's a valuable pitch for him. There are the numbers, lefties, righties. Also given up 24 home runs this year.
Really kind of interesting. The lefties would have that kind of average given that splitter that runs down and away from it. Generally, that's a great weapon for a right-handed pitcher against a left-handed hitter. 2-2, 2 outs. Hot shot. Swisher has it. He'll wave off Kuroda and go to the bag. We'll be joined in the booth after this half inning. Alex Anthopoulos, the Senior Vice President of Baseball Operations, will join us and bring us up to date on the Blue Jays. The Vice President of Baseball Operations. And Alex, lots of things going on the last couple of weeks with the Blue Jays. You've been a very busy guy. But the latest, of course, is Omar Vizquel's comments about the lack of discipline, the lack of leadership in that clubhouse. How concerned are you over what Vizquel said?
Well, you know, we talked about it, and I know John obviously spoke to him. I spoke to him as well. And he came out and said it's not, the way he felt it came across wasn't accurate and so on. But I think either way, again, as a player, and he's been around a long time, you have to be careful when you say things, and you might think it's constructive criticism or giving advice or whatnot, but it can be certainly taken the wrong way, and that's something that needed to be addressed, and it was. But I guess to follow up on that, there's no doubt at the same time, and we've talked about it, we are a young team. There's a lot of young players. They're going to make mistakes. It's part of being a young team, and there's no question that we certainly, with the right fits, can look to add some guys with some more experience.
Alabanez fouls it up. When you talk about John Farrell, and obviously there's been a lot of talk about Farrell in Boston, there's been a connection there. Are you comfortable that John Farrell will be manager here next year?
Yes, and I know, again, I understand, just like it happened in the offseason, rumors, all those things, part of the deal, the same way that I think before the trade deadline there was a lot written, Encarnacion's getting traded. Again, we didn't come out, and I don't, as a policy, don't come out and comment on all rumors and this and that, but the only thing I can really say is do all these things and let everybody read between the lines, which is pretty obvious, is that we're trying to win, we're trying to get better. We're not looking to we're not looking to move backwards, whether that's trading for prospects, things like that. We like stability, we like continuity, and we're going to look to get better.
The wins have been tough to come by this year. Got off to a decent start. How do you make this team better next year?
It starts with the rotation, no doubt about that. I was just saying, with Brandon last night, the game he threw, man, we look like a good team when we pitch, and that's what that's what it comes down to. And even at the trade deadline, we've talked about this as well. We were 2 out in terms of one of the wild card spots, and we lost a lot of guys in our rotation. The offense carried us for quite some time. The bullpen certainly got better, but it starts on the mound. Guys with quality starts can give us innings. It's going to help the bullpen. It's going to help the offense. And you guys played. When you get down 5-0, 8-0, it's when even if you're scoring 9 runs a game, it has to be tough when you keep grinding. So we get that rotation fixed. There's other areas, but that's absolutely going to be the priority.
Alex, you're in your 3rd season as the Gee, John's in his second season as the manager. What did you learn in your position this year about what it takes to put a successful team together?
You know, at the years where you struggle, you learn the most. I mean, I feel like I've learned something each year. I'd say I've learned more this season than any other season, and it's not the way I want to learn it. I'd rather learn winning 110 games. But at the same time, I think it's a combination of things. Depth, we talk about it all the time, but I'm probably even more adamant about it going forward. And I'm not as concerned, you know, with guys have options, they want to be up here. You know, we're going to do what's best for the organization, and we want to see some of the young guys play, but if there's anything wrong with having them wait, if we can have guys that can help the team right now and have that depth, because as we've seen over the coming year, guys won't perform and guys are going to get hurt, and we need that depth. It's going to be important. So if we can fill spots and have some of the young guys waiting in the wings to force our hand, that's definitely going to be something that we're going to adjust to.
What did you think of the young guys this year so far? And I'm talking about Brett Laurie, Aaron Sebia, Ghost, those players.
I mean, just like anybody, there's good and bad with all of them. You know, Aaron Sebia, before he got hurt, really started to make strides. He was really hot with the bat. And, you know, since he's come back, he started off slowly, but I think the last 4 or 5 games, especially the series against the Orioles, really nice to see him use the opposite field, which he hadn't done. And you guys have seen it. He's got tremendous raw power, and he's got tremendous power to the opposite field. And if he can use that side a little bit more, you'll see that average climb a little bit more.
Alex, there's a lot of things we'd like to cover, and it's a short time. Let's start in left field. Anthony Ghost, does he have a chance to start in left field next year?
I would say a chance. I would say ideally we'd have someone more established if we can. And that doesn't mean it's going to work out that way. And again, it's going to be weighing off who else is out there. Anthony's got options left. He's playing better since he's been back. Defensively, he's been outstanding. He's made strides. The swing is better and so on. But, you know, we're not going to hand anybody a job. So it really depends what happens in the offseason. But we won't rule out if there's someone established to go get someone.
Travis D'Orno, what's his status?
Right now, I think with the injury, you know, he'll start the year in the minor leagues. We won't rule out again, depending on the construction of the roster. You know, could he compete for a job in spring training? You know, DH, first base. He's played a little bit of first, not much. But again, the likelihood is because of the time missed and seeing how he comes back from the injury, the likelihood is that he'll be in the minors, but we'll be open-minded in camp unless we go sign someone to a guaranteed deal.
Danny Echeverria, you said throughout his minor league career he's a shortstop. Have you changed your thoughts on him as to where he might contribute for you?
I think we're more open-minded to it. I mean, he's a tremendous defensive shortstop. That's certainly his position. We obviously have Yanel there right now. And, you know, we have Kelly as a free agent. So Danny's been a nice surprise, too. He's played well. But we have options on him, too, and we can have him down there as depth. So is there a scenario that he could have a starting position for us? Sure, but in a perfect world, I'd love to have those guys in the minor leagues waiting in the wings and have some established guys up here. It'll just make the organization stronger.
Can you and will you attract free agents here?
Will you is a great question. I know we're going to try. It's probably I've never been that adamant about it before. You know, I think last offseason even there was a lot of talk about payroll's going to skyrocket. And it never came from our mouths, but I understand the rumor mill starts and it got out of control. But, you know, I've said this before. I expect our payroll to go up, and I expect us to be active in trying to pursue free agents to come here. Can never guarantee anything with free agency, but definitely a different approach to free agency this offseason coming up than it's been in the past. More open-minded, and I think we can set our sights a little bit higher than we have in the past.
What are your challenges of attracting free agents to Toronto at this time?
I think the number one challenge, because Toronto was never an issue attracting free agents when they had a winning product on the field. World Series years. I was just talking to someone in a suite with guys like Jack Morris, and Dave Stewart, Paul Molitor, and so on. So if you have a winning team and a contending team, that takes care of itself no matter where you are. Well, right now, we're not there. The results certainly speak for themselves. We've also been able to attract free agents when we've spent more. And we did it with Burnett. We did it with Ryan. It's not to say they didn't want to be here, but we certainly gave the most years and the most dollars. So, you know, if we're not a team that can certainly sell the win-loss of what we did in 2012, and we certainly can't, we could talk about the potential and so on, it's going to come down to dollars.
Let me switch gears on you just a little bit here. How about the Lansing Big Three, as we like to call them, the pitchers that you have down there? What's their plans for 2013?
They'll start in the Florida State League, and you know, from that point, you know, we expect them to do well, but they certainly have a chance to end up in New Hampshire. And you know, I'd say that we don't know where they'll end up, but Really through their teenage years, we wanted to protect them a little bit more. A big thing for us is, you never know with innings and all that type of stuff, but these guys are still growing, and we've done a lot of studies on guys getting hurt at a young age, and it doesn't mean they all do, but kind of get out of the point where their bodies start to mature a little bit more, and some of these guys are still getting taller, still starting to fill out. It's when we monitor the innings a little bit more, but when their bodies start to mature a little bit more, we don't mind to ramp up the workload.
How old are they? Nicolino, Syndergaard, and Sanchez.
I believe they all pretty much turned 20 this past year at some point. I know Nicolino, I believe, at the beginning of the season, but Syndergaard and Sanchez during the summer turned 20. So
you can push them a little harder next year.
Yeah, now it'll be 2 years, and now we're going to start piling on a few more innings, and they've developed. Say Sanchez developmentally is still real skinny, but he could throw up to 99, and it's easy. But he's still a guy that's developing in terms of his body. But all three of them have tremendous ceilings.
Skinny and 99 is good, Alex.
Yeah, it is. It's I don't know how we got him in the sandwich round when I look back, and it's a great job by our scouts. But all those guys have very promising careers.
Baltimore Orioles, we just saw them. They've got a chance to win the division and certainly a chance to go in the postseason. Can the Blue Jays turn things around as quickly as the Orioles? I
think so. And obviously, I guess you'd say, what would you expect me to say? But you can take a lot of good things that happen early. And I know everyone's been injured, but we saw at times what the rotation did early in the season before guys got hurt. We saw what the offense did when everyone was starting to click and roll together. And I think we've seen at times the bullpen, which I think we're still going to look to add if we can, what everybody can do. So it's on me and it's on the front office in the offseason to do our jobs and do our work and to make the 25-man roster that much stronger. But there's no question that we can do it.
Is there one or two things that excite you about next year? I mean, now already it's 2012, it's the end of the season, but excite you for next year?
You know what, I'd say I'm excited for the offseason, and that's not to say, and it's more because, just like anything, it's obviously tough. Team isn't playing well. You're sitting here in late August, early September. It's tough to impact the roster, make trades, and I can't wait to get going because we have a lot of work to do, and I don't want to watch a team not playing well. It's hard, and I understand the fans want to, they're probably more upset than anything, but I'm more anxious and excited to get to work in the offseason and get after it and try to get this thing right and fixed and get back on track. So there's been a lot of good stories, and there's a lot of things to be excited about. But at the end of the day, it's the wins and losses, and it's going to come down to what we do in the offseason. But we definitely have our work cut out for us, but we're going to be going full speed ahead.
It seems as though injuries were a concern across the board for every organization in baseball. But outside of the injuries for the Blue Jays, what area of concern disappointed you the most on your ball club this year?
Well, I mean, there's certain, I'm not one to necessarily single players out and call players out, but I mean, just like anything, you need your best players, your top players to have good seasons. That being said, you also know that's the hardest thing about this game. Even the great players aren't great every single year. So, I mean, from that standpoint, I guess the hardest part about all this, and you take the injuries, the play, all that kind of stuff, is the guys that we lost to Tommy John, the fact that we're not going to get them back at the beginning of 13, that's the most troubling part. It's one thing, hey, we're not making the playoffs this year, we had a rough year, guys are hurt, but you feel good when guys are coming back at the beginning of the season. But now, guys like Drew and Kyle and Louie, you're not going to have those guys at the start of the year, and really not until the end of the season. That changes the mindset, it changes the offseason, and that certainly hurts because those guys are a lot of innings and they have a lot of upside.
Speaking of injury, how's Jose?
He's doing well. He's going to be back in Toronto, I believe, second to last day. Been getting checked out. Everything should be fine. Looks good to go. I mean, the incredible part about it is, even though he hit those 2 home runs in New Hampshire, and the game report said they were moonshots, and obviously played the game with us, but he knew it wasn't right. We need to get it fixed, but he should be fine.
Alex, thanks so much for your time. We appreciate it, and all the best.
All right, guys.
Thank you. hits a home run, you can win big. Audio home theater systems and big TVs, like an 80-inch Sharp Aquos Quantron. To enter, visit hitahomerunwithsharp.ca. Chad Jenkins has given up 3 runs on 4 hits, got a big double play that really kind of saved him in that inning, and Bruce Walton talking to him on the bench. It looks like a pretty much one-sided conversation right now.
What it is, I think, everything is the same speed that we have seen out of his hand. That's why I thought the changeup was going to be very important. He's got to be able to get the ball down. He's had it up in the middle of the strike zone. And his sinker and his slider, he's throwing it basically at the same speed. He's going to have to take a little something off one of those pitches.
That's probably the most challenging thing for a young pitcher, because when you get into a stressful situation, you have a tendency to want to throw everything hard, and that's the worst thing you can do.
The good ones, when they get into those stressful situations, they are able to back off and go a little bit softer. We saw Darren Oliver do it in last night's game very effectively. We also saw Brandon Morrow do it in last night's game.
Yunel Escobar. Hiroki Kuroda, 37 years old. He understands how you go back and forth. He is a very seasoned veteran. 14 wins this year. It's a high drive to center field. Granderson on the run, looking up off the base of the wall. Escobar is headed for second, and he'll get there with a leadoff double. That high fastball, and the Blue Jays are all over Kuroda. They just got to cross the plate. They've hit the ball hard all night.
He just is not fooling anybody through the first inning. And the start of the second, that ball is smoked to center field. As soon as that ball came up and over the strike zone, Escobar, watch him unload on it where it is. Now, it's easier to hit that high pitch. You don't have to reach for it. You can get your legs, you can get your arms, you can get everything into it, and you can keep your head behind that baseball.
They got a leadoff double in the first, and they wasted it. Brett Lawrie got thrown out by Nick Swisher as he strayed too far off the bag at second. So Escobar with the leadoff double. Yankees lead at 3-0, and the Blue Jays are going to have to take advantage of this double. You've got to let the Yankees know you're not going to roll over for them right here.
You're not going to lay down. You got to take advantage of it, even if you get that ball to the right side.
No, that was on the right side, but foul. Colby Rasmus pulled his ball on the right side in the first inning, but it was a hot shot right at Nick Swisher. Swisher's not as close at first as he was with Rasmus for some reason, and Rasmus hit a bullet. Now Swisher creeping in. He's still thinking about the possibility of getting that runner at third should Escobar break. Oh, 0-2. Boy, these are the productive at bats you have to have. You get a leadoff double, you got to move that base runner at least 90 feet.
And you don't want to be thinking about making an out to advance that runner. I think you got to be thinking base hit to the right side,
especially early in the game.
So the worst thing that you come up with is a runner at third base and less than 2 outs.
Now you see they tried to really crowd Johnson with that fastball.
Strikeouts, 22 of them in his last 19 games. This is where a real nice 2-strike approach would come in handy. Kuroda will use that split finger, that forkball for strikeouts.
There is that split finger. Escobar read it well. Good job by Escobar. You know that you're going to get a lot of split fingers from Kuroda. You have to anticipate a ball in the dirt, and Escobar did it perfectly.
You know, and especially at second base, you can just look right in the glove of Kuroda and see what it is, anticipate the ball in the dirt, and move up. And that's exactly what Escobar does. There's the grip as the ball is released towards home plate, but when he has got that ball in his glove and he's coming to that set position, you can really see the split in his fingers on the baseball.
So the Yankees will keep the infield back. They'll trade it out for a run here. Another splitter, and Johnson stays alive. Boy, this is a great opportunity to drive in a run.
Here's what I'm talking about in his glove. You could see that as he is getting set, especially if you're a runner at second base. You see that split between the fingers, and then it comes out.
Once you see that grip in his glove, and then you see the flight of the baseball, and that it's going to be in the dirt, you have to be thinking about advancing to third. There it is again. When you see that much movement with the glove when you're at the plate, might that be a red flag for you?
That's another one right there where a sign that he might be trying to grip that ball in that forkball mode. His glove, as he's coming set, you see it moving just a little bit. That time a little bit quicker. Comes to a set position.
Another foul at the plate. That's why you see Brandon Morrow jam that ball in his fingers before he sets it in his glove. In order to get that baseball perfectly set between your index and middle fingers, it takes a lot of effort. So that effort, you might flare your glove, you might move it too much, and the hitters will pick up on it. Two and two. Escobar at third. Strikeout, picked off at third, and he's out. Wow. Another base running mistake. That's 2 tonight already, and we're just in the second inning.
Yeah, 2 leadoff doubles, and they did score in the first inning. Doesn't look like they're going to score here in the second inning. Escobar way off, and what a play. First by Martin, the catcher, and then A-Rod. That's a set play. I mean, he was moving on the pitch. Goes over and tags out Escobar.
Russell Martin threw it in the perfect spot inside the bag to give Alex Rodriguez that good look at the baseball. Rodriguez stayed to the inside of the bag, and Russell Martin delivered a perfect throw for it. 2 outs. That might be one of the most unusual strike him out, throw him out double plays you'll ever see.
Well, for me, that was a set play by
no
the Yankee
question.
veterans.
They put that on before the pitch. There's a base hit. There's a run. Rajay Davis gets a 2-out single.
When you have those opportunities to score runs against the Yankees, you got to take advantage of it. We have seen it a few times this year where players stray a little bit too far from the bag and they get caught on line drive double plays. That time, a strike him out, throw him out.
You just can't make that many mistakes against a good club. Anthony Gose. Anthony got his first big league start against Hiroki Kuroda and the Yankees. July 18th, he'd appeared in a game, came into a ball game as a pinch hitter the previous night, but he got his first start. He was actually in the leadoff spot against Kuroda. Gose has the count in his favor, 2-0. Fouls it over the Blue Jays dugout. We mentioned Hiroki Kuroda. He's thrown a career-high innings this season in his last 5 starts. He's starting to show signs. 5.29 ERA compared to his previous 8 starts at an ERA under 2. But when you look at his innings total coming into this game, 207 1/3. That's the most he's ever thrown in the big leagues.
32 starts also this season, which ties his career high.
The looper in the left. Ibanez is going to play it on a hop. Rajay Davis is headed for a third. Ghost will go to second base. Davis stops at third. Well, the Blue Jays, they're not lacking for hits. They just haven't been able to keep base runners on the bases.
The Blue Jays on Sportsnet. Brought to you by your local independently owned home hardware and building center location. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Anthony Ghost with the double. The Blue Jays are 5 for 9 first time through the batting order, and they haven't scored.
They're hitting right here, and Rajay slows down. I don't know if he knows there's 2 outs, but there's 2 outs. You got to run on anything. Maybe he thought that there was only 1 out, and he slowed down thinking that ball might be caught, but there's 2 outs.
It's not hard to know how many outs there are. It's all over the stadium. On the big scoreboard, on the balls and strike panel to the right of the big scoreboard.
Well, I don't think he would have been able to score on that play, but I was just curious why there was the double clutch and he slowed down.
Brett Glory had a leadoff double. He smoked a double down the left field line. And Derek Jeter, the captain, in quickly from shortstop to say something to Kuroda.
I think the game plan has to be for the Yankees the same one that Joe Madden had with the Rays when we were down there. You're in a pennant race. You've got to lead. You can't wait around to wait for Kuroda to find his release point. They've got a deep bullpen. And if he doesn't start recording some outs, he might get the hook.
Yeah. There are a lot of quick hooks around baseball this time of the year. Managers can ill afford to say, okay, well, he'll work things out. Like I said, the Blue Jays are 5 for 9 against Kuroda already, but they haven't been able to score. 3-0 pitch.
Well, what's disheartening so far in this inning, they've had a single, 2 doubles, and a walk, and they haven't scored.
Hey, fans, keep watching with the bases loaded. We're a grand slam away from awarding an 80-inch Sharp Quadron Aquos LCD TV. To enter, visit Hit a Home Run with Sharp.ca. Sharp, big is too small a word for it. Larry Rothschild, the pitching coach, delivers a message to Hiroki Kuroda. Russell Martin and Kuroda, as you mentioned, were teammates with the Dodgers, so they have a good relationship. But that good relationship's not going to help him miss these bats if he doesn't start making better pitches. 15 balls, 22 strikes, 37 pitches, and he's into the second inning with 2 outs. Bobby Rasmus hit a bullet his first time up, right at Nick Swisher at first.
Ready for that first pitch right here, right after the pitcher's meeting. You're ready to jump on that first strike.
There it is. Rasmus got a fastball and just fouled it straight back to the screen. As we mentioned, Rasmus, he hit a hot shot, but it was right to the first baseman.
Fastball has not been a good pitch for Kuroda in the month of September. In August, they hit 165 against him. In September, that has jumped all the way to 421 this month. And I think that has something to do with the miles per hour has been taken down a notch.
Comes right back, makes a good pitch. A little bit extra on that fastball at 93. This is his 5th start in the month of September. Hitters have hit 284 against Kuroda overall. That's the highest opponent's batting average of any month given up by Kuroda this year. Bases are loaded, 2 outs. The Blue Jays have already stranded 2 in this ballgame. 0-2. For the Yankees, they continue to pound Rasmus inside.
In up. You can see Russell Martin wanting that ball up. Teams have started to do that. They've also started to throw slow stuff early and then fastballs late. They feel like Rasmus is not going to get around on that fastball, and that time he got jammed a little bit. I'll tell you what, it'll change their mind. Hit a couple of them. Hit a couple of them out of the ballpark.
Another fastball. Here's where a veteran team, you get a veteran at second base, he's had an extended look at Kuroda. You saw him fix that splitter in his glove. And if you have a sign or two between the base runner and the hitter to let him know that splitter's coming, that's invaluable. Yeah. But you wouldn't expect Anthony Gose would be that advanced this early in his career.
And if you know that splitter's coming and you recognize it's something else, it's probably a fastball. This time it looks like a splitter.
I was that kind of player. I had to do all those little subtle things to make contributions. I'd be at second base flashing all kinds of signs.
Would you look like a third base coach out there flashing signs?
1-2, 2 outs. Blue Jays need a big hit. Kuroda makes a big pitch. That swing back fastball, two-seamer, starts off the plate inside. He strikes out 2 in the inning. Blue Jays leave the bases loaded. 3-0 New York. Purchase your 2013 Blue Jay season tickets by December 7th, 2012 and receive a $100 Blue Jays gift card, a Blue Jays Authentic Collection Premier jacket, and a limited edition Jose Bautista bobblehead. Call the Blue Jays at 416-341-1234 or log on to BlueJays.com to order your 2013 Blue Jays season tickets. Final weekend of the season. Yankees and the Blue Jays. This is a 4-game series. The Blue Jays took the opener 6-0. Alex Rodriguez singled and scored in the first. Goes after that pitch and fouls it at home. The Yankees, we mentioned they were shut out 6-0. That's only the 6th time they've been shut out this season. But since the start of the 2008 season, they are 25-9 following a shutout. They become extremely motivated.
Yeah.
Alex Rodriguez hit it right to Kelly Johnson. 1 out. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Ryan Flaherty committed an error in the first inning that led to the Red Sox first run. He certainly erased the impact of that error with 1 swing of the bat.
Hit a home run against the Blue Jays.
Yeah,
he might be a
opposite field.
pretty decent player.
Rule 5 player. They've kept him all year. Robinson Cano.
You know, you were just talking about the Yankees being 25-9 after being shut out over the last 3 years. All that is pride. To show the other team, hey, you know what? You might have had our number yesterday. We're going to show you today that we're the Yankees. That's all that is.
Chad Jenkins giving up 3 runs on 4 hits. Robinson Cano has one of those hits. He had 3 hits in last night's game. Fly ball to left. Ghost is right there. Cano's retired. 2 down. Chad Jenkins walked a couple last inning that led to the 3rd Yankee run. He is in a better spot here, middle of the order, and you better be. Nick Swisher had the big swing of the bat for the Yankees in the first, a 2-out, 2-run double. RBIs number 91 and 92 for the switch-hitting first baseman.
His career high was set in 2006 when he was with Oakland. He had 95 RBIs. Picking a good time to have a big year.
Yeah, Swisher is a free agent at the end of this season. He's playing his final year of his contract, and he's 31 years old. He's in a good spot. He's going to have plenty of suitors, but my feeling is that the Yankees would like to keep him. He's such a versatile guy. He plays right field. Made 104 starts in right. He's made 25 starts at first, and Joe Girardi likes the versatility of having a switch hitter like Swisher. There's a good changeup. Boy, what a different swing that is when he throws that changeup.
Yeah. Throws something a little bit different speed. Yeah, and I think Swisher's a Yankee. I think he fits in with the chemistry of that ball club. He's a very high energy guy. He does a lot of good things in New York. Doesn't mean he won't go looking around for another team. And I bet he stays with the Yankees.
Well, you never know. I mean, there are a lot of clubs out there that will make some offers that you won't even believe. And Swisher's coming off a $10 million contract. So you got to believe that, you know, money's not going to be the #1 priority. Certainly, where's there a better chance to win consistently than in New York?
Yeah, and he looks happy. Like I said, he looks like he belongs on this ball club.
We'll cut her off the plate inside. I really like the way Swisher plays. A lot of people might think it's a little bit goofy, but he's animated. And you know what? Baseball's fun. You're supposed to have fun playing. And so many guys nowadays are worried about their image and trying to be cool on it. I like the way Swisher goes about it.
Yeah, he is who he is, and he brings energy every day to your ball club.
Why wouldn't you? Playing in a beautiful ballpark every day. Traveling with a rock band, basically.
Pretty much, isn't it?
They have 12 players on their team making $10 million or more. And Jenkins throws another good changeup and strikes out Nick Swisher. That ends the inning. A good inning for Chad Jenkins. Edwin Encarnacion will start things off. J.P. Arencibia has a hit already tonight, and Adam Lynn for the Jays. Enjoying those big comfy green chairs in the TD Comfort Zone are guests from the Halton Trauma Center, an organization that provides treatment and care to children who have suffered abuse and neglect. The TD Comfort Zone, courtesy of TD. Blue Jays have out-hit the Yankees, but they've yet to cross home plate. New York has a 3-0 lead. Encarnacion, Arancibia, and Lind. First pitch cutter off the plate. Edwin popped up to the second baseman his first time up. Another cutter off the plate outside. Hiroki Kuroda was courted by the Kansas City Royals, and reportedly the Royals made a bigger offer to Kuroda than the Dodgers. But the Dodgers had a great relationship with Japanese-born players, and Kuroda signed with L.A. There's the great Hideo Nomo, the best pitcher, no question about it. And Nomo started with the Dodgers and really cleared a path for other Japanese-born players. Ichiro Suzuki signed with the Seattle Mariners, and they too had a pipeline. Sasaki, the closer, Jojima, the catcher, coming over from Japan. Encarnacion hits it a mile high into center field. One down.
The all-new 2012 Honda CR-V. Yeah, it does that. Honda, the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Beautiful Friday night in Toronto. The roof had been open at the start of the ball game. It's a cool night, so it has been closed and much more comfortable.
Oh, you should have heard the players complaining about the weather when they opened it up here. Shut the roof. It's freezing. And they weren't Blue Jay players.
Well, they never had a chance to play at the X.
That's right. That's right.
You play at the X, you don't complain about weather here. Exhibition Stadium right on the shores of Lake Ontario.
Coldest game I ever played in my life was right here in Toronto. 1983.
Yeah. Well, it got cold down there, didn't it? That turf would get cold and slick, and I bet you those aluminum seats were really comfortable too. But I tell you what, there wasn't a better incubator for fans for the Blue Jays than Exhibition Stadium. Everyone was close to the action, and obviously it was the first time they had big league baseball. It served the organization very well. Arancibia, big bouncing ball to third. Alex Rodriguez throws him out. 2 outs.
You know, it was a great hitter's ballpark until Steve came along, and Clancy and Key and Menke and Ward, but it was a great place to hit.
Yeah. It was obviously small. They had the artificial turf ball would shoot through the infield, and then if you get it over the crown of that football field, it'd roll all the way to the wall.
Yeah, the center fielder would disappear underneath the crown, and you could go for 3.
Adam Lind grounded out to Swisher his first time up. Takes the first pitch strike. Kuroda starting to zero in on good part of the strike zone. There's a splitter. Adam Lind has had another down season. Obviously had a career year in 2009 when he was the Silver Slugger at the DH spot in the American League. Last couple of years he's been plagued by injuries, and probably has a lot to do with the fact that he was a DH in 2009, and then he moved him into first base, and physically it took its toll on him. Last year he had 237 with 23 home runs and 72 RBIs. This season, not going to reach those totals by any means. Missed a month with bad back, down in the minor leagues.
Just over 300 at bats this year for Lynn. 10 home runs and 40 RBIs.
Line drive into center. Granderson will play it on a hop. 6 hits for the Blue Jays. Still no runs.
Hit in every inning for the Blue Jays. Granderson backed up on that ball. As you see that patented swing from Adam Lynn, sends a missile into center field. Not wanting to make a mistake and play it safe out in center field, Granderson backed up and played it on a hop.
Yeah, no reason to make a shoestring catch in a situation like that, or even attempt it.
The attempt, and if you miss it, he's going to be at second, maybe third base.
Yunel Escobar hit a double over Granderson's head his first time up. Escobar may have gotten something in his eye. Ball and a strike. 2 outs. We're in the bottom of the 3rd inning. New York scored 2 in the first, 1 in the second.
Yunel's had a good year against the Yankees. Right at 300 now after that double his last time up. They really play him to hit the ball the other way.
And he does. And Cano has it on the run. He'll throw out Escobar. The Blue Jays have left 6 base runners on through 6 innings. The Yankees have a 3-0 lead. Discover how Canadian hockey legend Paul Henderson's goal of the century in 1972 defined the nation to a generation of Canadians. Go behind the scenes with the man who has spent his entire life mentoring young leaders and who is now facing his greatest challenge yet. Tonight on Sportsnet 1 at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. The goal of the century. Curtis Granderson leading off for the Yankees in the 4th. Granderson lined out to the pitcher, one of the most unusual plays you'll ever see. He had a line drive, looked like it was headed for center. Jenkins threw his glove in the air, put his hand up to protect himself. Ball knocked the glove off his hand, went straight up in the air. He caught the glove and the ball inside the glove for the final out.
And for just a minute, no one knew what to call. Let's take a look at it. If you missed it earlier, line drive back at, throws his glove up, knocks it into the air, catches it. And everybody goes, what happened? He shows the umpire it's in his glove and he calls it out.
Had it all the way. That's a good pitch. Didn't get the call. 3-1 to Granderson. Leadoff batter in the fourth. Granderson with the leadoff walk. Third walk issued by Chad Jenkins, and that's going to get the Blue Jays bullpen up and going.
Second time that they have been up tonight here up last inning. Or excuse me, in the second inning was Brett Cecil then, and Brett starts to get loose again. Blue Jays made a couple of pitching changes while they were in Baltimore before they got home, just to reinforce that bullpen a little bit.
Enter the Train Like the Blue Jays Brett Lawrie contest today at BlueJays.com. Presented by Sport Check. Your better starts here.
Big shot of downtown Toronto. CN Tower high above Rogers Center. It's a gorgeous time of the year here in southern Ontario. With a cool, crisp air. Granderson at first. Ibanez takes one inside. Aaron Sevia's throw back to the bag at first is Granderson. Ibanez had a single and scored in his first at bat. Led off the second with a base hit to center. He's now 10 for his last 22. Ibanez chops it to first. Lynn goes to second and gets Granderson. That could have been interesting. Granderson slid in just late at second, but had he been safe, he could have just jumped up and ran all the way to third.
Yeah, they were in that shift, the Blue Jays, and they opened up that whole left side of the infield. Here it is. Lynn comes off the bag and makes the play at second. But look, there's nobody between second base and third. But he's called out. Good play.
But Granderson is out to cut the better base runner off the bases. Ibanez at first for Russell Martin. Martin walked in his first at bat. Martin has really picked it up with the bat late here in the season. It's a disappointing season, but the production is up there. He's got 19 homers and 49 RBIs. Coming into this game, he was hitting .286 in his last 18 games. And boy, for a catcher, those are impressive numbers this time of the year. Take a beating behind the plate, foul tips, your hands get all beat up. You have a tendency to wear down physically. He's catching in his 112th game.
What your legs feel like about now? Can you even feel them?
You just ice them down and strap it on and think about playing in October. And that what really makes you appreciate catchers, and especially ones that put up offensive numbers. Aaron Seavey has done a good job putting up offensive numbers. Russell Martin on the verge of hitting 20 home runs. Ground ball. Lawrie at third. Jump throw. Bouncing on the turf. Good job by Brett Lawrie. Well, he got up in the air just to get him off his feet and change directions. He knew he had time with Martin running, and he threw a one-hop strike to first.
First the play. He ranges to his left. Just doesn't, in his mind, have time to plant that right foot. That's a tough play to throw it accurately. Up, over, and out over at first base. Got to have a strong arm. He was way up in the air, too. He's got some springs.
Great athlete, great defensive play, and He made a nice play for Chad Jenkins. He's out of the game. The left-hander Brett Cecil in when we come back. DH tonight. Raul Ibanez is at second base. Brett Cecil has taken to this role in the bullpen. He handled Jim Thome twice in the Orioles series. 19th appearance of the season. Majority of those came as a starter.
Second stint with the Blue Jays this year. He also got his first career hold last time we were in Baltimore.
Little tapper out in front of home plate. Cecil makes a good play and gets out of it. So once again, Brett Cecil proving his worth out of that bullpen. He gets a tough left-handed batter in Eric Chavez. Kelly Johnson will start things off for the Jays. Rajay Davis has a single. Anthony Gose has a double. Blue Jays need 3 runs to tie. The 1992 Toronto Blue Jays, a 1-hour documentary celebrating and retelling the stories of the first Canadian team to win a World Series. Tonight, 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific on Sportsnet 1. You can also pick up a special edition of Sportsnet magazine commemorating the 1992 Blue Jays on stands now. Look at Pat Tabler in the middle of it. What happened to your hat?
My buddy Joe knocked it off my head.
Cedar Gaston, the manager for those back-to-back World Series titles, and tonight at 11 you can relive that 1992 season.
That's going to be fun.
Gonna stay up and watch it?
Oh yeah.
No, you'll be asleep by 11.
No, I'll be heading home to go watch that one. I want to bring back those good memories.
Kelly Johnson takes a strike. It's 1-1. It'll be Johnson, Davis, and Gose. High fly ball to left. Ibanez on the run. That ball is just out of play into the seats. He hit that a long way. That ball carried a long way down the left field line. Well, Ibanez going all the way into the corner, but it sliced into the seats out of play.
Kelly Johnson has shown some power the other way. He's hit a few home runs to left field. When he hit that one, it looked like it was just an easy fly ball to left field. It just kept carrying.
Well, Kuroda's done a pretty good job of working that inside corner to the lefties. Struck out Colby Erasmus to end the Blue Jays' threat in the second. Jays left the bases loaded. Coming right back in there, but missed. I gotta give it to the Yankees. I didn't think Kuroda would be this effective, but he's had a good year. 14 wins and over 200 innings. Bouncing ball, Swisher. Big Sunday hop, one down. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. He's got an update. Jeremy Hellickson on the mound for Tampa Bay. Gavin Floyd for the White Sox, and that's a big series. Tomorrow, game 3 of the 4-game series, Matt Moore and Chris Sale. And then on Sunday, David Price, who many scouts have told you is the best pitcher in baseball right now.
Yeah, I was talking to a couple of them tonight at dinner, and they said, hey, the best pitcher in the American League right now is David Price. And they need him. Look how close the Rays are to the A's in the wild card, that second wild card.
Don't take your eyes off the Angels. They are in Texas tonight. Rajay Davis, this ball is going to get down. Splits the outfielders. Ichiro Suzuki throws it back in, but Rajay Davis has a one-out double. That's the third Blue Jays double tonight. They had leadoff doubles in the first and second and hadn't been able to score.
Well, they haven't had any problem getting them on. Now they've got to figure out how to get them in. Rajay hits that ball into the gap in right center field with that tremendous speed, will make it easily to right field. He had thoughts of going to third base if that ball got by Suzuki in right field, and then broke it down right when he got towards the bag.
My mistake. That's the fourth double that the Blue Jays have hit. 7 hits, 4 doubles. Anthony Gose, fly ball to center. Granderson back. Davis tagging, and he'll move to third base. But now there are 2 down. Brett Lawrie's been on base twice. He had a leadoff double to start the game for the Blue Jays and then walked in the second.
You know, one of the problems, according to Dwayne Murphy, that Brett Lawrie has had is he feels like he has taken a lot of pitches that were hittable. I'm not sure if he just didn't see them, but he felt like he was taking a lot of fastballs down the middle. So they said, look, I want you to be a little bit more aggressive. And when you first see that first pitch in there for a strike, let it go.
Good cut at that breaking ball.
Yeah, that was a good cut.
Brett Lawrie hit his 10th home run of the season in last night's game. That came on a first pitch fastball. Another breaking ball. Kuroda wants another baseball. Rajai Davis at third base. Davis hit a one-out double. 1-2 to Laurie. Went too far. Carrera comes back with another breaking ball. Laurie strikes out. The Blue Jays have stranded 7. Carrera using that good breaking ball to attack Brett Laurie. Picks up his 3rd strikeout of the night. Ted Jenkins goes 3 2/3 and gives up 4 hits, 3 earned runs. He walked 3. The Yankees ambushed him in the first inning after 2 were out. Alex Rodriguez singled, Robinson Cano singled, and Nick Swisher drove in 2. His game score 40 as he just wasn't able to get through that first inning and fell behind early. But Cecil retired Eric Chavez to end the top of the 4th. Derek Jeter's 0 for 2 so far. Fly ball to the left. Ghost moves over to his right, makes the catch. Jeter's now 0 for 6 in the series. He had a 19-game hit streak snapped Wednesday afternoon in Minneapolis against the Twins.
Joe Girardi has made it a habit when he comes to Toronto to get some of his veterans off the carpet and rotate them through that DH. We might see Jeter tomorrow as the DH in that ball game tomorrow afternoon.
He's got an older ball club and he's very aware you got to keep them as fresh as possible. Jeter has made 24 starts in the DH spot, so he's had plenty of opportunities to get off the field. Ichiro Suzuki, a couple of ground outs, make it 3. Kelly Johnson throws him out. Suzuki is 0 for 3. Brett Cecil's retired all 3 batters he's faced.
John Farrell was talking about Brett Cecil the other day and the role that he is now playing out of the bullpen. He says, I like him out there. Everything that we have asked of Brett Cecil, he has delivered for us. We've asked him to move to the bullpen. He's done that. We've asked him to lose a little weight. He did that. We asked him to go down to AA to get himself worked out. He did that, and you never heard him complain.
Yeah, he took a good approach about it. He said, you know what, not much I can do. Obviously, he had to report to AA, but he went down there with a good attitude, put in some good work, and got himself back to the big leagues.
And if you can throw from the left side throw strikes, pitch out of the bullpen. You could pitch forever.
Well, think about some of the guys we've seen over the last several years. Mike Myers, sidearmer, threw a lot for the Tigers. Jamie Walker never really threw hard, but he had a nice career and pitched on some good teams.
Jesse Roscoe.
Pitched forever.
Rick Honeycutt. Pitched forever.
Scott Downs.
Scotty Downs. Darren Oliver.
Darren Oliver is a great example of a guy that went from a starter, made the transition, and Oliver had retired as a starter. Thought his career was over, and then Sandy Johnson, who was at the time with the Mets, suggested that Darren Oliver comes back as a reliever, and it's been a very good capper to a very good career. Brett Cecil used 9 pitches to set down the Yankees in order in the top of the 5th. Now it's time for a Blue Jays Central Update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn from the BlackBerry Broadcast Studio. Sharp home theater system, including audio soundbar, Blu-ray player, and Arcos LCD TV. To enter, visit hitahomerunwithsharp.ca. Sharp, big is too small a word for it. We'll have to wait till tomorrow in the 4th inning for someone to win that big Sharp package. And the Blue Jays obviously haven't hit a home run tonight. They haven't been able to cross home plate, even though they've out-hit the Yankees 7-4. Good time for the Blue Jays to get something going. 2, 3, and 4 in their batting order. Colby Rasmus, Edwin Encarnacion, J.P. Arancibia. Russell Martin and Hiroki Kuroda have done a nice job of mixing up the pitches. This is the 3rd time through the order, and Kuroda's used a different approach to each batter.
One time he'll go with the fastball on that first pitch. Next time he'll throw that breaking ball. He'll then try that split. You're right. They've worked very well together. He hasn't been very sharp, Kuroda, but they're massaging him through these innings. He is closing in on 80 pitches.
There's a home run, just an inning late. Colby Rasmus. The Blue Jays are on the board. Home run number 23 for Rasmus.
What did we say last time that Colby was at the plate? That they had been trying to pound him up and they've tried to pound him in, and well, you want to get him to stop doing that? Knock a couple out of the ballpark. Well, there's one of them right there for Rasmus. It's a fastball that's up and in, and he drops some head on that ball. Deep to right field. The head of that bat comes through quickly, and he drives it out of here for number 23. Watch where the ball is. Up and in. And he gets right through it.
23rd home run of the season. That ties his career high. He also hit 23 in 2010 for the Cardinals. He set a new high in RBIs. That's his 75th RBI. His previous high was 66. Also as a Cardinal in 2010. The Blue Jays are finally on the board. 3-1 ball game.
That's a good feeling right there for Colby. He knows what they're trying to do to him. He knows that they're trying to pound him up and in. And then you finally hit one.
Well, what's the hitting coach tell you? Get him out of there. He's in his kitchen all night long, and the hitting coach will say, hey, you got to get him out of there. He's going to stay in there until you get him out.
He got him out. The ball was crushed.
Edwin Encarnacion. He's gone 0 for 2 so far against Kuroda. Flirting with danger on the inner half. 3-1. Going away. And didn't get it there. Kuroda walks Encarnacion. So J.P. Arancibia, the cleanup hitter tonight, and rightly so. He is red hot, and he absolutely wears out Hiroki Kuroda. He has a hit in 2 trips tonight. He is 6 for 8 against the Yankees right-hander. And Larry Rothschild with a very slow, deliberate walk to the plate. Rasmus started the inning with his 23rd home run. And that slow, deliberate walk is twofold. Wants to give Kuroda a little break, and the other to get the bullpen going.
Yeah, as soon as that ball left the ballpark from Rasmus's bat, they got the bullpen up and started throwing. He ended up walking Encarnacion again. He hasn't been that sharp. There are the numbers first, second, and third time through the lineup.
Right-hander is David Phelps. The left-hander is Clay Rapata. And both these ball clubs have a fully stocked bullpen. They can go back and forth all night long.
Yeah, plenty of arms on both teams.
J.P. Arancibia. J.P. is 10 for his last 15. Average of 240 for the season. He's had 18 homers and driven in 56. Might have been the best fastball Kuroda's thrown all night. Touched 94.
You know, the message could have been, hey, give me everything you got. We're going to try and get you through this inning so you have a chance to win this game. So reach back for a little something extra. You've got a right-hander in there, Arancibia, then a lefty, and then another right-hander. So you've got a chance here.
Arancibia went too far, chased that breaking ball. That's the first out of the inning. That hard slider down and away gets him. Well, I think you're right. And it's no time if we look at that slider once again. That's a big breaking slider, and Arancibia chased.
Yeah, doesn't put up a resistance. So he has to figure that he had gone around.
You know, Joe Girardi's holding his breath in that dugout. Adam Lind has home run power. One swing of the bat, and this game could be tied. And that's what Lind was thinking about.
Yep, with that swing, it looked like he wanted to try and lift the ball out of the ballpark.
Girardi, as much as he would like to get Kuroda a W, he got bigger fish to fry tonight. And you know he's stewing right now. He got Clay Rapata down in that bullpen who handles lefties very easily.
And he has used him a couple of times in the last 2 series just for Adam Lind. Remember that in the 6th inning back at Yankee Stadium with a 3-0 lead. I believe it was game 1 of that doubleheader. He brought Clay Rapata in the 6th inning to face Adam Lind, who was leading off the inning. One batter.
And Lind got a single off him. But that was his assignment, Adam Lind. Ball on the strike, 1 out. It's a 2-run game. Yankees have a 3-1 lead. Bouncing ball. Cano. Jeter back to first, double play. So Joe Girardi showing confidence in the 37-year-old Hiroki Kuroda. He closes out the 5th. He has a 2-run lead. '20th win of the season. Mike Trout has given him an early lead, and don't look now. But the Angels are back in the wild card race. The Angels and Tampa Bay are 2 games back in the wild card race. The Angels in Texas, a 3-game series. They'll send Weaver, Santana, and Greinke to the mound against the Rangers, and Robinson Cano gets hit. That pitch clips him on the hand, and he'll go to first base, and Joe Girardi quickly out of the Yankees dugout. Looked like he got him on the fat pad of that hand, and John Farrell's going to say, wait a minute, did he swing at it? And then the appeal down to third. Tim Wilkie, the crew chief, said no swing. Paul Schreiber is the home plate umpire. But Cano, a lot of movement as he took his hands toward the baseball, but the umpire didn't feel like it was in a swing attempt.
If you're a Yankee fan, you don't like to see this. A-Rod got hit by a Felix Hernandez pitch and was put on the disabled list. This time it looked like it grazed off his hand. The backhand, he starts his swing and then tries to pull his hands out of the way as he recognizes the ball on the inner half, and it grazes off that hand. It still hurts.
This generation of hitters really never learned how to get out of the way of pitches, because they weren't thrown at that often. But watch how he exposes his hands to that baseball. Turns him right into the flight of that baseball. You and I both came up in a generation where guys would throw at you, so you turn your back to the baseball and protect your hands.
Yeah, you take it on the back. The biggest muscles in your body in the back.
Nobody was better at doing that than Don Baylor. Don Baylor would just put that big bat to the baseball and take it off the shoulder. But you're never going to risk breaking a hand like Alex Rodriguez did.
Yep.
Blue Jays got a run in the bottom of the 5th, and they can't afford to give it back. Robinson Cano at first, hit by a pitch. That's the first base runner to reach against Brett Cecil. He had retired 4 straight since entering the game. Ball in the dirt. It's the one thing that really helps the Yankees, having a switch hitter in the middle of the order. Nick Swisher really puts pressure on the manager, and you think, okay, well, I got lefty, maybe I can just stick with him. But now you got a switch hitter, Nick Swisher.
Yeah, you can't go to your bullpen.
On the ground, through the hole, base hit, Nick Swisher. His second hit of the night. He's 2 for 3.
The all-new 2012 Honda CR-V. Yeah, it does that. Honda, the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Bruce Walton, the pitching coach, is out to the mound once again to have a chat with Brett Cecil. First and second, nobody out. First two batters reach against Cecil in the sixth. Jason Frazier, the right-hander, is up and throwing. Right-handed Frazier. We got Granderson, the batter. Ibanez, a lefty batter on deck, and then Russell Martin in the hole. Martin, of course, a right-handed hitter.
And if they pinch hit for Ibanez, who's on deck, you have that right-hander ready to counter that move.
And there's a whole host of characters on that bench that can pinch hit.
The Yankees aren't a big team that bunts a lot, so I wouldn't expect them to bunt here. Not with the type of home run power that Granderson has.
He shows bunt. Granderson has one sacrifice bunt this season, but he also has 40 home runs.
Yeah. So do you play for 1 run or 2 runs, or do you gamble and let them swing away and try and knock one out of the ballpark?
Trying to bunt, and Cecil can't throw a strike. Curtis Granderson, one of the biggest home run threats in baseball. The last 2 seasons, he has more home runs than anybody in the American League. 81 home runs. He's ahead of Miguel Cabrera, Jose Bautista, Josh Hamilton, and Adrian Beltre. Pretty impressive list, and Granderson tops them all.
Yeah, the first names you hear, you think of Jose Bautista, Cabrera, maybe Josh Hamilton, but it's Curtis Granderson. His swing, I think, is built for Yankee Stadium. He's a pull hitter. He's a fly ball type of hitter. He just has to get the ball up in the air.
He is hit with power, obviously. It's reflected by his 40 home runs, but his average has really dropped this year. He's not been as consistent as he has in the past.
He's under 230 now with 189 strikeouts.
Again, he squares to bunt and bunts it foul.
And maybe that's why you see Joe Girardi trying to bunt those runners along now.
He's only hit .214 against lefty pitching this year. But now with 2 strikes, you would expect Granderson to swing away. The Yankees as a team have 30 sacrifice bunts. Not a big part of their approach. 2-2. Did he go? Yes, he did, according to Tim Welke. He calls him out. So Granderson strikes out. That's a big strikeout for Brett Cecil. First out of the inning.
Good curveball right over the top, and Granderson can't hold up on that curveball. That's why they were bunting. Again, it's not a big part of what they do. They were playing for a run.
Now Raul Ibanez is up, and Ibanez has only hit 172 against lefty pitching. Just 58 at bats. It's a little surprising, but Joe Girardi sees Frazier down there, and he likes the matchup Ibanez against Cecil over one of his right-handers against Frazier. 1 out. Robinson Cano was hit by a pitch. He's at second. Nick Swisher with his second base hit is at first. First and second, 1 out. Blue Jays looking for that double play ball. Cecil would love to keep the momentum in the Blue Jays dugout. They scored a run on Rasmus' solo home run.
You felt like there was a little bit of momentum starting to happen in that Blue Jay dugout after that home run.
Ibanez 1 for 2. Had a single in the second inning. Way inside.
Been showing some signs of coming out of a long slump, has Ibanez, so be careful. Good pitch, 2-1. He had a 2 for 45 streak going before he bust out of it in a big way.
Now, he was 0 for 18 and 2 for 45. He was really scuffling, but then he's picked it up now into his 7th game. Breaking ball missed. Throw it again. I wouldn't give in to him in this situation. This is your last guy. Frazier's got Russell Martin, and they're not going to pinch hit for Russell Martin, so don't give in to Ibanez here. Throw him another 3-2 breaking ball. Take your chances.
Take your chances. You get your strikeout. Maybe you get your ground ball. Get yourself out of here.
Him up. That's going to reach the seats out of play. I just think if you're Brett Cecil, you really got to survey the situation. You know Frazier's throwing down there. Russell Martin's on deck. I don't have a problem with walking the bases loaded. Take a shot. Maybe you strike him out.
If you end up missing by throwing in the 3-2 breaking ball.
There it is. To the cutter, he got him. Good pitch by Brett Cecil. 2 outs, 2 on. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Brett Cecil gets his man. A couple of strikeouts, 2 outs now, 2 on. Jason Frazier will come out of the bullpen when we come back. Blue Jays down by 2. Will take place tomorrow, September 29th. Blue Jays and the Yankees will play Game 3 of this 4-game set. The game starts at 1:07 p.m. There are special kids prize tickets in the 200 and 500 level outfield seats. After the game, kids 14 and under can run the bases just like the pros. Call the Blue Jays for tickets at 416-341-1234. You can always log on to BlueJays.com to order your Jays tickets or stop by most Rogers Plus locations. The final Junior Jays Saturday of the season. Great time to be included in that final Junior Jays Saturday. You can bet there'll be a big celebration to wrap up the Junior Jays program for 2012. Jason Frazier, the right-hander, into the ball game to face Russell Martin with 2 outs and 2 on.
Right-hander versus right-hander. And that's what you want to see with Frazier in the ball game. Last time he worked in game 1 of that series, that doubleheader down in Baltimore. Faced 2 batters and struck them both out. Hot hitter and Hardy and Davis. Good fastball and a good slider.
First pitch slider gets ahead of Russell Martin. They crossed him up. Everybody in the ballpark knows where Frazier's going. Down and away with that good fastball. Now it's just a matter of whether Russell Martin can commit to it. Russell's 1 for 5 against Frazier. And Steven Frazier can't get their heads together. And Sevia offers another pitch. There's a changeup. Not a bad pitch after a first pitch breaking ball. Naturally, you think, okay, now he's going to come with a fastball, so you throw a changeup. Can you throw another changeup right here?
If you feel confident enough. Depends on how it feels tonight. He'll test it out in that bullpen as he's getting warmed up. Some nights it just feels awesome coming out of your hand. And you can throw it with your eyes shut and throw it for a strike.
Fastball is popped back out of play. When a pitcher comes into a game out of the bullpen, a catcher will go out there and they'll talk things over. And a guy that's experienced like Jason Frazier will say, JP, my changeup's right on. Don't be afraid to call it. We can put away Russell Martin with that changeup. Now he's got Martin in a hole 1-2.
And he has faced Martin enough in the past, and he has been in these situations, and he's got a game plan. Now he just has to execute what he wants to do.
That changeup again, this time bounced in the dirt. It's 2-2. The one thing you don't want to do is get into a position where you become predictable.
And he hasn't for his career. When he was younger, it was fastball, slider, maybe a little bit of other breaking ball. And then about 5 years ago or so, maybe even 6, he came up with that split grip changeup, and it has meant the world to him. It was that third pitch that he added that really complements his fastball. Throwing a little bit of a slider. And that's how he is able to stick around. 505 appearances now as a Blue Jay.
Most games for anybody who wear the Blue Jay uniform. Full count, 2 outs. The runners, Cano at second, Swisher at first, will be off on the pitch. Yankees have a 2-run lead. Russell Martin, high, deep drive to left. 2-home run Russell Martin, a 3-run homer. He got that full count, and he got a pitch up in the zone, and Russell Martin has come up with another big hit, his 20th home run of the season. A big home run for New York.
We talked about Jason really to paint that outside corner with a fastball. That time he elected to go to an off-speed pitch, and it just allowed Martin to get the barrel of the bat out a little bit further in front of home plate, and that's how you hit the ball out of the ballpark. See it spinning up there. The barrel comes out and hits it out in front and takes it right out of the ballpark for his 20th home run.
And the Yankees have a 6-1 lead.
He is now the 5th Yankee to have at least 20 home runs this year.
It's his first 20 home run season. First of his career. Had 19 home runs with the Dodgers in 2007. That's the first time he's hit 20 home runs in a season. Eric Chavez, the DH, has walked and grounded out. Ball bounced in the dirt. 2 of those runs will be charged to Brett Cecil. He hit Cano to start the inning, gave up a single to Swisher. The 3rd run will be charged to Frazier. The Yankees were shut out last night, and they had a 7-game streak of homering also snapped, and they start a new one.
It's been a good month for Russell Martin in September. That was his 6th home run in the month of September. So you talk about a guy who is coming up with some big hits at the right time. There he is. That was a big one. Forget about the average. Show me some production.
Yeah.
And that's what we have seen.
Yeah, I don't care what a catcher hits for an average. I want him to knock some runs in. Had a full count to Eric Chavez. He fights it off and stays alive.
Home runs. That's what the Yankees do. 233 of them coming into this game.
You mentioned Martin with his 5th home run, 6th home run this month, and that's the biggest month of the season for Martin in homers.
That was a big one. Right after the Blue Jays scored a run in the bottom of the inning, he comes up with a 2-out, 3-run homer.
Fastball missed outside. 2 outs and Chavez at first. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Well, Mike Trout already has homered tonight, so Trout's not in the home run race, but he's certainly in the batting race. Trout has slipped to 3rd. Joe Mauer is 2nd. Cabrera, going into play tonight, had a 3-point lead over Joe Mauer. For the batting average race, Cabrera is tied with Encarnacion, 1 behind Josh Hamilton, and he's got a comfortable lead in RBIs. Derek Jeter takes the first pitch strike. The last Triple Crown winner, 1967, Carl Yastrzemski of the Boston Red Sox. Hard to imagine that they would have back-to-back Triple Crown winners, and we haven't had one since '67.
Yeah, 45 years. And there was a Triple Crown winner in the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, and the 60s.
Jeter shoots one to right. Rajay Davis gets over, cuts it off. Chavez goes first to 3rd. Jeter with his first hit of the night.
The all-new 2012 Honda CR-V. Yeah, it does that. Honda, the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Well, the Yankees certainly got momentum back in their dugout. Jeter with a base hit, chased Chavez first to 3rd. Russell Martin with a 3-run home run. The Yankees have scored 3 in the inning, and there's still just 2 outs. Jason Frazier in relief of Brett Cecil. Now Ichiro Suzuki bats with 2 aboard. You see Frazier with the fastball, 92 miles an hour. When he's got his good fastball, it's consistently 94. And that might be the reason why he went with changeups and sliders to Mark. Didn't have that good feel for the fastball.
Yeah, maybe in his mind he didn't feel he had a good one. And when you combine that 94 with a good spot, good things are going to happen.
Suzuki drives in Chavez from third. It's 7-1 New York. Suzuki's first hit of the night is an RBI single to left.
He has firmly implanted himself at the top of that lineup now for the Yankees. When he first came over there, they were hitting him down in the lineup. 7-8. But now, after that hot series against the Blue Jays on that last road trip, Joe Girardi's put him in the number 2 slot.
Well, what a 1-2 punch having Jeter and Ichiro top of your order. And then I don't care if you put Alex Rodriguez third or Robinson Cano third. And John Farrell has got word down in that bullpen that they're ready. Joe Carreño has been throwing and he is ready, so he'll come in to take over for Jason Frazier. John Farrell takes the baseball and Frazier will take the long walk back to the dugout. Joe Carreño will come on when we come back. Alex Rodriguez at the plate. Book today. There are 5 ways to win this year, including a grand prize draw for Canada's largest LCD TV, a 90-inch Sharp Aquas. Join Sharp Canada on Facebook today. The Yankees have kicked the door wide open. They have scored 4 runs in the 6th. They're not done yet. Joe Carreño making his 11th appearance of the season. Had a good outing against the Yankees back at Yankee Stadium. He worked 2 innings and struck out 5.
Yeah, with a walk in that game for Carreño. And he showed a good slider, good breaking ball that day. He'll throw it anytime, anywhere. Versus lefties versus righties and fastball counts. And he's trying to get the Blue Jays back in their dugout.
Alex Rodriguez goes after the first pitch. Rodriguez is the 9th Yankee to bat this inning. And it all started very innocently. Robinson Cano was hit by a pitch. And then a couple of strikeouts. Cecil struck out Granderson, struck out Ibanez, but Jason Frazier came in and gave up a 3-run home run to Russell Martin. Carreño missed with the fastball, ball on a strike. Chad Jenkins was the starter. He goes 3 2/3, gave up 4 hits. He was charged with 3 runs. Up the ball game. It was a 3-0 game. Hiroki Kuroda battled to close out the 5th. Got Adam Lind to hit into a double play to end the inning. He had given up a leadoff home run to Colby Rasmus. But the Blue Jays couldn't do much more against Kuroda. He really made a good pitch to get the double play and end the 5th.
It looks like he's coming back. You know, they had the bullpen warming up, double bear action in that bullpen as he finished off the 5th inning. But the Yankees, I think with their 4 runs here, they're going to have him come back out.
Broken bat. Shortstop. Escobar goes to Johnson. The inning is over, but the Yankees score 4 runs. But the big blow in the inning, Russell Martin, a 3-run home run off Jason Frazier, his 20th of the season. First time he's hit 20. We'll have all the MLB playoffs that begin October 5th. That's the division series right here on Sportsnet across the network. You'll see all the postseason games right to the last game of the World Series. Cincinnati, 94 wins. They are a win behind Washington for the best record in the National League. Washington's taking it on the chin tonight in St. Louis. Edwin Jackson lasted an inning and a third. Gave up 7 hits, 9 runs, 8 earned runs in 1 1/3 to the Cardinals. So they could be tied for the best record in the National League after play tonight.
Reading some of the articles back home in Cincinnati, they want to have that best record. They want to be able to host all the way throughout the playoffs and have home field advantage through the World Series. Whoever has that best record in the National League.
Fly ball into shallow center. Cano back. He is under it and makes the catch. Escobar is retired. Well, that is such an important aspect. If you're going to be in the postseason, for sure, you want to play as many home games as possible. Looking at the American League right now, Texas has the best record in the American League. They are 2 games ahead of the Yankees. Texas has 92 wins at the start of play. The Yankees have 90. Texas currently losing to the Angels 3-1 in the 5th at Arlington.
Joe Girardi was asked about that. How important is it to have the best record in the American League so you can host all the way through the playoffs? He said, I'm not even thinking about that. I don't have time to think about the best record. I'm trying to win the American League East.
Yeah, and that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
You don't want to go into a wild card playoff game and play one game. Kelly Johnson, this is trouble down the right side. It's a fair ball. It'll bounce into the seats for a ground rule double. The one-out double for Kelly Johnson, his 19th double of the season.
Doubles haven't been a problem tonight for the Blue Jays, or getting runners on base. Just getting them over and in have been a problem.
Base running was a problem again tonight. Brett Laurie got picked off the second base on a hot shot to Nick Swisher. That was the first inning. Yunel Escobar gets picked off after a strikeout of Kelly Johnson. That was in the second inning. The Blue Jays just haven't been able to capitalize on all of their hits tonight. They have out-hit the Yankees.
Yeah. And I believe they've hit 5 doubles now and a home run. The second inning pretty much tells the whole story of what had happened to the Blue Jays tonight. They had a walk, a single, and 2 doubles in the inning. Didn't score.
No runs on 3 hits and 3 left on base. Blue Jays are 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position tonight. Rajai Davis is in a hole, 1-2. Rajai is 2 for 2. He's singled and doubled. Little looper behind Cano. That's going to be trouble. It drops in front of Ichiro. Now Davis makes a big turn, and Ichiro throws behind him, but he gets back. So Rajai Davis is perfect. He's 3 for 3 tonight.
They've kept the ball away from him, down and away. And instead of trying to pull the ball, he's taken what the Yankees have given him, and he's been rewarded with 3 hits. All of them coming to right field or up the middle.
Well, Joe Girardi will make a move here. Hiroki Kuroda with a comfortable lead. Blue Jays have a pair on. David Phelps will enter the ball game when he comes back. The pitcher for the Yankees, David Phelps. Blue Jays saw him back in New York. Game 2 of the doubleheader on Wednesday, September 19th. Phelps threw 6 2/3. 3 hits, a single run. He walked 3 and gave up 6. So Blue Jays have seen him, and they've seen him real good.
Yeah, he's pitched very good baseball against the Blue Jays twice this year. He's made 2 starts against Toronto. He's pitched a total of 13 innings versus the Blue Jays, and he has struck out 13 batters, hitting just 170 against Phelps. This year, he's got a good arm, fastball, slider, and one of the pitches that have been very effective for Phelps, he uses his fastball, and he's not afraid to use it on the inside against lefties.
Anthony Gose. He faced Phelps in New York in that last start and struck out twice. Breaking ball on the ground. Jeter, second for 1. No chance to go back to first. Johnson comes in to score. It's 7-2 Yankees. Gose picks up an RBI, his 10th of the season.
And that should close the books on Kuroda with that out. Charged 2 runs to him. You come into the ball game, reliever, and you get an out with 1 pitch. That's got to be a good feeling.
Roki Kuroda looking for the win. At Laurie, it's a fly ball to right. Ichiro back well in front of the warning track. The inning is over. The Blue Jays get a run, but they trail New York by 5. There's a wrap-up party on the field after the game tomorrow. There are interactive games, prizes, and inflatables. You must be a Junior Jays Club member in order to attend. The final Junior Jays Saturday of the season, the Blue Jays and Yankees. The game will start at 1:07 p.m. And those look like a couple of Junior Jays members. And tomorrow they'll have a great time on the field. And after the game, they'll all be able to run the bases and then enjoy that great wrap-up party. Robinson Cano, he started the rally in the 6th, got hit by a pitch by Brett Cecil. He would come around to score the first of 4 runs in that inning. 7-2 New York. Carreño. Throws a first pitch strike to Cano.
It's an interesting defensive alignment against Robinson Cano. This is the first time that I've seen a shift employed by the Blue Jays.
Now he's been wearing up that spot where Yunel Escobar is. He's hit 3 ground balls up the middle.
But he's the kind of guy who can recognize how they are shifting against him and cross it up, go the other way. He can handle the bat that well.
He's a terrific hitter. when you look at his numbers year in and year out, he's always right there at 300. He's at 301 as we speak. 30 home runs and 82 RBIs. Plus, that's 44 doubles. And he has just been hot of late. He is 1 for 2 and he's hit by a pitch, and he scored twice.
How about 75 extra base hits from your second baseman? Pretty impressive. At a 300 average to 301 now.
You see, he was shooting for that big gap over on the left side.
I think if there's any doubt in baseball who the best offensive second baseman in baseball is, there's no doubt it's Robinson Cano. Since 2005, he's had the best average, most doubles, and most most RBIs, third most home runs for a second baseman.
Only Dan Uggla and Chase Utley have hit more home runs than Robinson Cano, but he's the benchmark, and then you throw in a little Gold Glove for good measure. There's Escobar. They got Cano that time. He hit another ball hard, and that was headed for center field. But Blue Jays made an adjustment on defense and take a hit away from Robinson Cano.
They're not keeping all those stats just to have a lot of paper hanging around. They're taking advantage of it. And it worked out. That was perfect. Ryan Butterfield, Torey Lovello, they put a lot of hours in, a lot of work in designing a defense and positioning.
Yeah, I mean, they got a little smile on their face now. They took a hit away from Cano, and he hit that ball hard. And that's what you do. You defend hard hit balls. Don't defend flares. You can't put everybody everywhere.
Yeah.
So you go with percentages of where Cano hits the ball when he hits it well. And Escobar was standing right there waiting on it. Nick Swisher, another good night at the plate, 2 for 3. He drove in the first 2 Yankee runs with a 2-out double. Breaking ball downstairs.
That first hit that Swisher had, that double in the first inning, that started the scoring for the Yankees. That made his hit streak 10 games, which is a season high for Swisher. Very simple approach at the plate. When he was a younger player, he had a lot of moving parts to his swing. He had a high leg check, and the bat was going all over the place. But to his credit, he has quieted down his swing. He uses just his hand. And he's having a good year.
3-2. 1 out. Yankees half of the 7th. They broke it wide open with 4 runs in the 6th. Breaking ball, and Swisher walks. Check in with Jamie Campbell. How about that? A 1-0 no-hitter. It's almost appropriate that the Reds would have a no-hitter this year, given everything else that's gone right for them.
How about their starters? I think they've used 6 starters all year long.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. 10 strikeouts for Homer Bailey. And we had Alex Anthopoulos with us early in the ball game, and he said his #1 priority, starting pitching. And that's how you get back to contention. Starters, they set the tone for your ball club. We saw it last night with Brandon Morrow, and as Alex said in his own words, Brandon Morrow pitches a good ball game, we look like a good ball club.
Yeah, we look like a totally different ball club. And the thing that I'm thinking about is everybody else wants pitching too. How do you get it?
Oh, yeah.
You're going to have to give something up if you want to trade for it, or you're going to have to spend a lot of money to attempt to sign. I'm not saying to sign them, to attempt to sign them.
Well, and you know what? There's not a deep market for starting pitching. Free agent market. Zach Greinke's going to be a free agent. John Markham's going to be a free agent. Edwin Jackson's going to be a free agent. Brian Dempster. I mean, there's a few guys out there, but I mean, there's no CC Sabathias this time around. There's Granderson. Fouls it off into the glove of Aaron Sebia. But then, too, I mean, we've talked about this in the past. Free agents want to go somewhere where they have a chance to win.
Yep.
Blue Jays aren't there yet.
I think the best way to do it for the Blue Jays in the offseason to try and fix or get a few more starting pitchers, they're going to have to trade somebody. And who that is, they have to recognize who it is. But I think you could trade major league talent to get major league pitching talent. You just have to recognize a young guy who might be the 6th starter or the 7th starter on a very deep pitching staff.
Granderson, high deep drive to center. Rasmus back at the wall. Dropped it. He had a glove on it, but then the ball popped out of his glove. Looked like he might have pinned it up against the wall as he got to center field. He stayed with it. And it'll certainly be an extra base hit for Curtis Granderson, a double. As Rasmus got back in good shape, got to the wall, but it looked like the wall and the ball got to the same spot as he arrived, and looked, actually never really got a glove on it. He just pinned it up against the wall and hit above his glove. Granderson with the double, and Rasmus just pins it up against the wall with his body.
And knocks that down and keeps it into the ballpark and gets it back into the infield quickly, so Swisher can't score. Would have been a great catch if he could have come up with it.
Kyle Ibanez with the infield drawn in, and another unusual alignment on the infield. 3 infielders on the right side of the diamond, all playing in, trying to cut down the run at the plate.
You know, that play just now by Rasmus reminded me of another play in this ballpark by another center fielder. Look how Devo gets back, and everybody in Toronto history remembers this one. In the World Series, and he gets it back in. Almost the exact same type of play where the center fielder goes full bore right into the center field fence. And here's 3.
Kelly Johnson's going to come home. It's going to be too late. Now they're going to throw to third. And they get Granderson in third. Swisher comes in to score.
Oh, get that all day, bro.
And it's 8-2 Yankees. Ibanez fitted with an RBI. Swisher scores for the second time tonight. Kelly Johnson had to give ground. By the time he got the ball to home plate, it was too late.
Yeah, even if it was an accurate throw, they weren't going to get Swisher because he was going on contact, and he ran it to perfection to get the run. Blue Jays fortunate enough to get Granderson at third base.
2 outs. Russell Martin got the biggest swing of the bat tonight. A 3-run home run in the 6th. At the time, Yankees had a 3-1 lead. 2 on, 2 outs, and Russell Martin hit a 3-2 breaking ball out of the ballpark. They showed you that Devon White catch, and just as a reminder, make sure you check out Making History, the 1992 Toronto Blue Jays. It's a 1-hour documentary. It'll take place tonight at 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific on Sportsnet 1. You can see that Devon White catch all over again.
Can't wait. After this ball game to watch that.
Martin fouls it into the seats. into the seats down the right side. Baltimore Orioles finished off their game. They beat Boston 9-1. Chris Tillman picking up the win. He's pitched great.
It's over already. 9-1.
9-1. Boston got one hit. Russell Martin pulls it foul.
Who was the lucky batter who got the one hit?
Scott Podsednik leading off the game.
Wow.
I believe it was a bunt. I think Podsednik's hit was a bunt.
A bunt single to lead off the ball game, and that's it.
Chris Tillman has pitched very well. His 9th win of the season. 1-2 to Martin in the dirt. And Sevilla gets on it.
That might be the guy for the Orioles to start a playoff game.
Yeah. We talked about that. They don't have a clear-cut ace by any means. Tillman tonight improves to 9-2. His spot will come up in the final game of the season at Tampa Bay. That's when he's scheduled to pitch again.
So
full count.
If that game doesn't mean anything, maybe they skip him and then it works out for him.
Use him in the wild card game.
Yeah, because I think he's their best starter right now. He's on a roll and his stuff is pretty good.
There goes the runner. Russell Martin out in front again, but pulls it well foul into the 5th deck. Wow. Chris Tillman 9-2 with a 2.78 ERA. He went 8 innings, gave up 1 hit. The only run was unearned. It came in the 1st inning. He walked 2 and struck out 4. How about Baltimore? They were 6 for 11 with runners in scoring position.
That'll help. They've been waiting a long time also for Tillman to be that guy.
He was a pivotal guy in that Seattle trade. Russell Martin chops it up the third baseline. Carreño quickly and throws it down the right field line. Ibanez will stop at 3rd. Russell Martin ends up at 2nd. And with 2 outs, let's check in again with Jamie Campbell. Thank you, Jamie. And that's going to be it for Joe Carreño. Russell Martin is credited with a hit. Carreño charged with the throwing error that allowed Martin to get to 2nd. Chad Beck will come out of the bullpen when we come back. Minnesota Twins. It'll be a 3-game series starting Monday, October 1st. All 3 are night games. Call Blue Jays for tickets at 416-341-1234. Log on to BlueJays.com or stop by most Rogers Plus locations. Justin Morneau, Joe Mauer, and Scott Diamond all present with the Minnesota Twins, and they'll be here for the final series of the season. Chad Beck making his 12th appearance of the season. He has been back and forth between Las Vegas and the big club
5 times this year. He's been up and down. A couple of times he has come up and he hasn't gotten into a ball game. He just served as insurance for the ball club when a starter had just gone a couple of innings. He last pitched a couple of days ago down in Baltimore. Roughed up a little bit. 2 earned runs in an inning. Fastball. He's got a little bit of a split grip changeup that he is working on now. Needs to find something to take a little something off the baseball. He's another guy who throws everything about the same speed, fastball to slider, and that's why his changeup is becoming more of like a splitter. Take a little something off the ball. Change speeds a little bit.
And Chavez drives it to left. Anthony Ghost near the foul line. Makes the catch, and the inning is over, but the Yankees add a run. They take an 8-2 lead as we head to the bottom of the 7th. Guest on Monday, former CFL receiver and current bachelor Brad Smith. He'll be on with Tim and Sid between 1 and 4 on Sportsnet, the Fan 590 in Toronto. And he'll co-host the primetime edition of Connected at 10 p.m. Eastern on Sportsnet East and Ontario. And don't forget, The Bachelor Canada debuts Wednesday on City TV. Beautiful Rogers Center all lit up, and the CN Tower standing tall high above it. David Phelps came into the ball game in the 6th inning in relief of Hiroki Kuroda. Kuroda went 5 1/3. He's in line for the win, his 15th win it would be.
He's been impressive, I think, Phelps, because he uses his fastball. We were talking earlier about where do you find pitchers from, and we're talking about teams that have a lot of starters. Maybe we can try one of the guys. This might be a guy that Blue Jays might be interested in. Young, he's controllable, he's got a good arm.
Yeah, it costs an arm and a leg to get David Phelps from the Yankees. The Yankees are old, and they can't afford to give up young pitching. They never really know how a pitcher's going to work out. Remember when they had Phil Hughes, Ian Kennedy, and Java Chamberlain? They were all going to be starters. Well, Kennedy's in Arizona. It took him a long time to get it together. Phil Hughes is finally starting to get it together, but you know, CeCe's about it. He's the ace of the staff. There's no question about that. And he's not going anywhere anytime soon. But you know, they've had Freddie Garcia in and out of the rotation. I don't think they're going to give up a guy like David Phelps, in particular to an AL East rival. Phelps drops the curveball on him. And there's the throw to first for the out. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Friday night crowd, the last Friday night of the season and the second game of a 4-game Yankee series. Always a lot of fans on hand to see the Yankees.
Well, I know one of the things that Ryan Cashman, the general manager of the Yankees, has wanted to do the last couple of years is get younger. They have brought up some young players, Phelps being one of them. And I'll tell you, if you've got a veteran starter out there, a proven commodity, I bet you they'd trade him. They've done it in the past for years and years.
Yeah, they've always traded away younger talent to get a key piece that they need.
You just never know about
where's their need.
Where's their need? I think it depends on what happens with Swisher, Suzuki. There's Chamberlain on the left and Boone Logan on the right.
Well, Ichiro Suzuki is a free agent again this year, and I don't think he really figures in the long-term plans for the Yankees. I think they would be more focused on bringing Nick Swisher back. They got Teixeira signed for the long haul. A-Rod signed for the long haul. Jeter's signed. But they're not going anywhere. The next big questions after Swisher will be Robinson Cano and Curtis Granderson. They are not up this offseason, but next offseason. But then you're going to have to make a decision. And I can tell you what that decision is going to be with him.
Well, he's not going anywhere.
He's going to be a Yankee as long as he wants to be.
Yep. And maybe the offseason this year has an influence on what happens next year. Maybe they can look ahead and figure, hey, we can't give Nick Swisher that kind of money because we have to save it to give it to Cano.
Yeah. Well, you know, Cano's going to get a boatload of money, and he deserves it.
And I don't think I've ever said save some money and Yankees in the same sentence in my whole life, but they are committed to get underneath the threshold, the cap threshold.
And that's a new threshold now. What is it, 189?
Mm-hmm.
That's 189 million. With an M. And Sebia fouls it back. Ball on the strike. JP has a hit. He's 1 for 3 tonight. Blue Jays have 10 hits. They've matched the Yankees in that department. And they have 6 extra base hits.
5 doubles and a home run.
Breaking ball over near the seats. Swisher gives it a look and runs out of room. Mets and the Yankees have a hefty payroll, and we'll take a look at it over the last 5 years. This season, 197.9. That's down from 207, down from 213, and that has been the acme in 2010. 413 million.4.
You know what they had going for them there in those years, besides a high payroll. They had a lot of veteran guys who were coming off, who were becoming free agents that they elected not to sign. Money coming off the books that they could turn around and plow it right back into the payroll. That's why Teixeira came aboard a couple of years ago. CC Sabathia's been there for a while now. But they keep turning over their roster because they got so much money to play with.
And they have a great TV network, and they have a beautiful ballpark, full all the time, and they win.
Yeah, they lead the American League in attendance, averaging almost 44,000 a game.
Another pop-up. Swisher giving chase on the warning track. This time he makes the catch, and Seavey is retired. That's 2 down. We'll be right back at it tomorrow, and it all starts at 12:30 Eastern time. That's the pregame show with Jamie Campbell and Greg Zaun. Good pitching matchup. Andy Pettit, just off the disabled list, pitched a good ball game his last time out. He's 5-3 for the season. Ricky Romero trying to build on the momentum of winning his 9th game last start against the Orioles. A couple of left-handers. It all starts at 12:30 p.m. Eastern time. That's 9:30 a.m. Pacific time. Ricky Romero and Andy Pettit. Adam Lind is 1 for 3. Coming in this game, Lind has been swinging a hot bat. Over the course of his previous 16 games, he has a 309 average. Trying to finish up on a high note. His average for the season now at 244. David Phelps in relief of Hiroki Kuroda. High, deep drive to left. Ibanez looking up. Home run, Adam Lind. A 2-run home run, his 11th of the season.
You know, this isn't the first time that we have seen Adam Lind go the other way with a pitch and hit it out of the ballpark. It takes some special talent to be able to do that. 2-0, threw him a fastball, he took it. Phelps comes right back with that fastball, and Lind drives it right out of here. Showing a little bit more power in the month of September as he powers that one into the stands. 11th home run of the season.
2 RBIs. He has 11 homers and now 42 RBIs. Yunel Escobar had a double his first time up. He's 1 for 3. Fly ball into center. Curtis Granderson moving underneath. The inning is over. Blue Jays get a couple. Adam Lind's 2-run home run. Number 11, a no-doubter to the opposite field. Lind showing that good power the other way. Rogers Center. The Yankees have an 8-4 lead as Adam Lind hits the second Blue Jay home run of the night, a 2-run home run. Kobe Rasmus had a solo shot in the 5th, but even though the Blue Jays have out-hit the Yankees have a 4-run lead. Chad Beck came in to close out the 7th inning. It'll be Jeter, Suzuki, and Rodriguez for the Yankees.
Yankees, I think to beat them, if we talk about the playoffs a little bit, to beat them, I think you have to keep them in the ballpark. I think that's number one. A lot of what they do is via the home run, and I think you have to get the lead on them early because their bullpen is deep. When the Yankees score 5 or more runs, they're 64-19. And a lot of those runs come via the home run.
They pared down their bullpen in the postseason. Obviously, go back to a 25-man roster. Jeter fights it off inside. Laurie across the diamond in plenty of time. 1 out. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Canadian Scott Diamond having another good start. 7 innings, 5 hits. He hasn't allowed a run. He has not walked the batter and struck out 1. He's had a good year.
How about that?
Drew Smiley went 5 1/3. He allowed just 2 hits. He walked 1 and struck out 5. And Phil Koch was into the game. He was charged with the run.
Detroit is losing that game to Minnesota, and the White Sox are beating Tampa right now at the top of the 6th inning, 2-1.
Alex Rios with the go-ahead home run in that game. Gavin Floyd, the starter for Chicago, is out of the game. Jesse Crane is in now. So the Tigers entering play tonight, 2 games up on the White Sox. Detroit will finish with Minnesota. Tomorrow it'll be Verlander against P.J. Walters. On Sunday it's Anibal Sanchez against Liam Hendricks. And then the Tigers go to Kansas City. Their rotation is set up: Rick Porcello, Doug Fister, and Drew Smiley. And just in case, they've got Verlander on regular rest for a potential playoff game.
He's a big man. How about that? And they have owned Kansas City this year.
Yeah, Tigers really have owned Kansas City, and it'll be interesting to see how it shakes out. After Tampa Bay leaves Chicago, the White Sox go into Cleveland. The White Sox have Hector Santiago, Jake Peavy, and Gavin Floyd set up for the Cleveland series. 2-2 to Ichiro. Fights it off.
You know, if they happen to tie, the White Sox and the Tigers, and they have to play a 1-game playoff to see who wins the Central, you know what that pitching matchup is looking like?
Yes, I do.
Oh boy. That will be a lot of fun to watch.
Justin Verlander and Chris Sale. Ichiro slaps it past Laurie into left. No throw for Anthony Goes and Ichiro Suzuki. A patented double inside the bag at third.
No one in baseball can hit like this. Can you do that? That's unbelievable. Ball down and away, just slaps at it. For years and years and years now, he's been doing this to the opposition. Keeps it fair down the left field line, and he has a multi-hit game once again.
Hits are even now at 11. Alex Rodriguez had hit his first time up. Takes one inside. The AL East standings as we speak. The Orioles won tonight. They beat Boston And Chris Tillman picked up the win, his 9th. So they are currently a half game behind the Yankees, but the Yankees have a 4-run lead. Rodriguez swings right through it. What does Rodriguez look like to you at the plate?
To me, he looks a little stiff for me. The lower half, I think, can really put you in a good position to hit a baseball, and it's almost like his lower half, he can't get it into anymore.
There goes Ichiro, and the ball is popped up down the right side. That's going to reach the seats. Ichiro Suzuki had a huge jump at second.
In the past, when A-Rod was younger, I mean, he was one of the best hitters I've ever seen, because he could hit, and he could hit for power. He could handle any type of pitch that was up there. But now I don't know if it's age or if it's injuries. The lower half looks a little stiff, and he just doesn't seem to be able to get the barrel on the bat and pull the ball like he used to.
He's coming back from a broken hand as well. 1-2. Fights this one off, and boy, he got jammed and hits a little pop-up to second. That's 2 outs. Yeah, it's been a real struggle for Rodriguez since he injured that hand. And he has had a tough go of it, and he made a fan very happy with that broken back.
Slider, backup slider, and he just can't get the barrel out in front, and just pops it up, breaks his bat. Makes someone very happy.
So Beck is out of the game after getting Alex Rodriguez, the left-hander, Aaron Loop into the ball game to take on Robinson Cano with 2 outs. Appearance, and Aaron Loop has been a real find for this ball club. Look at his average against left-handed batters, 170, and that's what he's dealing with right now with 2 outs.
How about the whip? 0.89, just 2 walks and 20 strikeouts for Loop. Yeah, he has been a nice find for him. Really wasn't on the radar during spring training, and he has gotten better since he has been up here. 5th reliever of the night for the Blue Jays.
There goes Suzuki. Eric Sevia's throw not nearly in time as Ichiro steals 3rd. That's his 28th steal of the season. Had a 4-steal game against the Blue Jays in New York.
Yeah, he's only been thrown out 6 times this year. And you say, like, okay, well, what does that mean in the 8th inning? Well, it's only a 4-run game. The Yankees are going for the pennant. They're not laying down.
Little looper into center field. Escobar can't make the play. Robinson Cano drives in a run with a little Texas leaguer in center. Cano's 2nd hit of the night. Ichiro scores. He can absolutely flat out hit.
He covers the plate, first of all. So a left-hander, you can't find a hole. You can't go outside or try and go in. He can handle all of those pitches. That time he fights it off for the RBI. He's been on base 3 times.
Cano now with 83 ribbies. Nick Swisher, he has 92 with a pair tonight.
It's a level swing. It's got plate coverage. You try to go in, you try to go out. He can plate cover all of those pitches. Sometimes you just flare it and it finds a hole for you.
Yeah, he got jammed. There's no question about that. But because he kept the bat level through the zone, he was able to fight it off and flare it into center. That's all you need to do with 2 outs. Put the bat on the ball and see if you can't find a hole somewhere. 9-4 New York. Three and one. Nick Swisher, he is 2 for 3. He's walked, he's driven in 2 and scored 2. High fly ball to left. Anthony Gose has room in front of the warning track. The inning is over. If the Yankees get another run, they've expanded their lead. It's 9-4. Now it's time for a Blue Jays Central Update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn in the Blackberry Broadcast Studio. Care Foundation Garage Sale. It'll be the final game between these 2 ball clubs. The game starts at 1:07 p.m. It's happening at section 127 prior to the game. You can purchase game used equipment, autographed memorabilia, and much more. Proceeds raised will support the Jays Care Foundation. You must have a ticket to the game to attend the garage sale. For tickets, call the Blue Jays at 416-341-1234. Log on to BlueJays.com or stop by most Rogers Plus locations to pick up your tickets to Sunday's series finale against the Yankees. Chris Dickerson is into the ball game in left field as the Yankees have a 9-4 lead. David Robertson into the ball game.
Robertson worked 4 days ago, so it's time for him to get some work here. Usually comes in when it's a little bit closer in the 8th inning for the Yankees. He got a great fastball, overhand curveball. He'll pile up the strikeouts.
It's ahead of Kelly Johnson. Johnson's gone 1 for 3. He doubled and scored in the 6th his last time up. Ball on the strike. The Yankees jumped out early. They scored 2 runs on Chad Jenkins in the first inning. And they've never looked back. Johnson's in the hole, 1-2. Bobby Korecki warming up for the Blue Jays. He has just been called up from AAA. He and Sean Hill joined the club in Baltimore. Ball in the dirt. Two and two.
I sure don't think he can hit that high fastball. They have stayed up there all night tonight.
Russell Martin has had that glove up, let her high all night long with Johnson at the plate.
Yeah, and then just when you think he's going to go back up there, he can drop that hammer on you.
Back upstairs, a little bit of a cut at the end of that fastball. On the ground, Cano to his right, backhand, bobbles, and still gets Johnson. Boy, he bobbled that ball for a moment. You can see he's not happy about it. He barely had enough time to get Kelly Johnson. Cano's committed just 6 errors this year.
Yeah, he's a Gold Glover. He combines very soft hands with a very strong arm. And how about Swisher at the end to cheat just a little bit? Pull off that bag. Watch him pull it quickly just before Johnson gets there. Help out his second baseman. He can play first base.
Yeah.
Be tough to let him go because he can play the outfield, and then if Mark Teixeira gets hurt like he is right now, you've got a natural replacement. You don't weaken yourself.
Well, Teixeira is in Tampa, and he had 7 at-bats yesterday, played an inning in the field, and the plan is for him to play the rest of the weekend in Florida at the Yankees camp. Rajay Davis jumps on that high fastball.
Have a night.
4 hits. 4 for 4. Rajay Davis.
Had a single to center field, a couple of other hits to right field because the Yankees had pitched him away. This time they try to come inside, and he turns on that one. Rips it over A-Rod's head for a single.
4 hits for Davis. He's had a big night. Anthony Gose has been on board twice. Reached on the fielder's choice and hit a double. Anthony Gose done a good job in his return to the big leagues. That ball is bounced to first. Swisher will go to the bag, and Gose is retired. 2 down. Alex Anthopoulos was talking about Anthony Gose when he was with us in the booth, and he suggested he would prefer to have a more experienced player in left field and give Anthony a chance to get some more time developing. and thought that was kind of interesting. But at the same time, I think Alex made it clear that he wasn't going to give much to anybody, but everybody can compete. He talked about Darno competing possibly behind the plate, maybe for the DH role a bit, some first base. Some of these younger guys are going to have confidence when they come to camp next spring.
Here's what I got out of listening to what Alex Anthopoulos was saying tonight. The young guys are not going to be handed anything, and they are going to finish off their development in the minor leagues, and when they are ready to come to the big leagues to contribute, that's when you'll see them at a full-time basis. I also got the feeling that they're not going to go away from the game plan that they have laid out for the next couple of years. And if they have to take their lumps, they're going to take their lumps. But they're going to build for the future.
Brett Lawrie. Well, I think what I took out of it, first he said #1 priority to add starting pitching. And he was very upfront saying, we saw Brandon Morrow pitch last night. When we have good pitching and a well-pitched game from our starters, we're a good ball club. So that will probably include Ricky Romero and Henderson Alvarez and Morrow, but they'd like to upgrade from that point. Brett Lawrie takes a walk. Another thing I thought was very interesting was the fact that he had shifted gears a bit on Adeiny Echeverria. Initially, and for all 3 years, Echeverria is a shortstop. Echeverria is a shortstop. And then he saw him play third in the big leagues, saw him play second here, and said, well, maybe we might be able to break him in at a different position. Still confident that they have Yunel Escobar. I think another thing, too, that he said, for those of you who didn't hear him earlier, was that he was going to be a participant in the free agent market. And was going to go out and try to make his ball club better. And he wasn't about trading prospects or getting younger or rebuilding. He's about getting the best team possible for next year.
And he said about free agents, how do you call it, a higher tiered free agent?
Yes.
Something like that?
Well, you know, there are higher tiered free agents, and it's going to cost you money, and you're going to have to overpay. There's no doubt about that. Look out. Wow. That was a shot into the seats, and looks like everybody's okay. The one thing we asked him right off the bat was status of John Farrell. Of course, all the rumors related to Farrell, and we saw it firsthand when we went to Fenway Park. He said John Farrell will be back next year. Very matter of fact. Has another year on his contract.
Another year.
Why wouldn't he be?
Surprised all the rumors haven't started about Cleveland also, after they let their manager go.
I think Cleveland has their manager already in place.
The guy they just named as the interim?
I think he's a natural.
Shock me. Yeah.
Sandy Alomar Jr.
Yeah.
I think he's a natural to be the manager of that team. He has served time as a coach, and I think he's ready. There's a big breaking ball. Rasmus strikes out. The inning is over. So Blue Jays go down in the 8th inning. Rajai Davis picks up his 4th hit of the night. We'll go to the 9th. The Yankees have a 9-4 lead. 46 games. A good job for the AAA ball club, and Gorecki has time with Minnesota and Arizona in the big leagues. He pitched with the Twins in 2008, a total of 16 games, and he had 5 more games with the Diamondbacks in 2009. Blue Jays have had a tough season as far as the roster goes. They've used 53 players this season. That ties a franchise high. They used 53 in 11 and 99. So it's been a tough season in juggling the roster.
How about the tough 2 seasons? 2011 they used 53, and this year they used 53 again. 33rd pitcher that the Blue Jays have used in 2012. And that tells the story right there.
Curtis Granderson. He's 1 for 3 with a walk. He had a double last time up. There's a fastball upstairs.
Gorecki was throwing in Florida. He lives in Florida, and he was throwing in Florida because he's getting ready to go to winter ball on October the 9th. So he was in shape. He had been home for a couple of weeks since the minor league season had ended. So it was natural with a couple of double headers on that last road trip.
Kelly Johnson in shallow right field throws out Granderson. That's the first out for Gorecki. Bobby Gorecki is 32 years old. He started his minor league career in 2002 with the Philadelphia Phillies. He was originally drafted by the Phillies in 2002, the 19th round. Chris Dickerson batting for the first time. Dickerson took over in left field for Raul Ibanez.
Isn't it funny how in spring training you're putting your roster together and you're watching everybody for 6 weeks, and you get down to that last 2 weeks of the spring training and you say, okay, how can we put our team together? Well, it doesn't matter. Because, you know, in a week or two, it's all going to change anyway.
That's interesting. There's always a big push to determine your opening day roster.
Yeah.
And it's really inconsequential.
So-and-so is battling so-and-so to win this, and I think we're going to be really strong because we've got so many of these guys, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You just have too many changes throughout the year.
Joe Carreño started game 3 for the Blue Jays this year, and they knew that that was just going to be a one-start situation.
Well, the one thing I know we were talking about in spring training was depth within the organization, and it certainly has been tested this year.
Boy, has it ever. 53 players have worn the Jays uniform on the field this year. Dixon will take a walk. More baseball coming up on Sportsnet West and Pacific. The San Francisco Giants will send Ryan Vogelsong to the mound against Andrew Werner for the San Diego Padres. Vogelsong 13-9. As the Giants have really pitched well down the stretch. And it'll be right here on Sportsnet. Coming up next after this game, San Francisco has a comfortable lead. They're not going to be able to get that best record in the National League. They have 91 wins at the start of play tonight.
I was watching a game when they clinched to get into the playoffs, and Bruce Bochy, they were interviewing him. He said he's very proud of his guys because they kicked the door and then they came in the front door and held off Los Angeles and Arizona and some of those other teams, that they took it and they won. They didn't back in or anything like that.
Yeah, they sure did. And even after the Melky Cabrera suspension for the PED suspension, the team got better. They rallied around each other and said, you know what? We don't want to be a part of that. And they have made the announcement that Melky Cabrera will not play in the postseason, even though his suspension will be up. So good for them. You got to tip your cap to the Giants organization for making that decision.
And they've got playoff experience and World Series experience from a couple of years ago. And with the pitching staff that they have, that could be a very dangerous team.
Yeah, a couple of days ago I was looking at their pitching staff. 5 of their starters have made all but 2 starts this year. So you talk about depth, and that's how you win it. And then you look at the year Buster Posey has put together. He has been remarkable. 333 average, 23 homers and 100 RBIs from your catcher.
What's he hitting? 330 something?
333.
Is he your MVP?
Yeah. 37 home runs. 37 doubles, 23 home runs, 100 RBIs, and the 333 average.
And catching that staff.
Catching that staff.
So no doubt. I'm going to write it down. Buck says Posey's the MVP of the National League. All right. Got it.
Anytime you can have a catcher be the MVP, you got to go.
That's it. There it is. Okay.
Who are the other candidates? Buster Posey is going to win the batting title. Brian Braun's going to be a candidate, but he's going to fall short.
What about McCutchen?
Andrew McCutchen, 332. He's got 30 home runs. He falls short in the RBI department, and the Pirates have disappeared. They've evaporated from that pennant race. McCutchen leads the league in runs scored with 106. Also leads the league with 190 hits. But once again, I think when you factor in the premier position of Buster Posey, it's hard to overlook him.
Yeah. Break it down that way. Let's see. Anybody on the Reds do anything for you? How about Chapman?
Well, this Chapman's going to get a lot of votes, but I don't think he's going to be an MVP. And the pitching staff has been good. There's no question about that, but they've been good as a unit.
The way those won 19 games, I don't think he's going to win the side. Washington. Nobody jump out at you offensively for them?
Good team effort.
Yep.
Nobody in the top 10 in batting average. It'll be interesting to see how that sorts out. I'm pretty confident with my announcement that Buster Posey is going to win the MVP. Eric Chavez, the DH, pops it straight back over the screen. How about Marco Scutaro? You talk about Giants. What a job he's done. Scutaro has played in 56 games for the Giants. He has 41 ribbies and a 361 average.
Wow. Playoff experience for Scutaro. Also, players were talking after they got into the playoffs that they thought they did a good job of acquiring players at the trade deadline. Brian Sabian, the general manager, did a good job of scouting and finding some players out there. Scutaro is one of them.
They brought back Xavier Nady just to give them some depth, and Hunter Pence was a big pickup. Quite a battle going on here by Eric Chavez against Bobby Correctly. Joey Votto certainly would have gotten plenty of votes for an MVP had he stayed healthy, and obviously just doesn't have the season-long credentials to put him in that category. But there's going to be a lot of talk about that. Chavez drives this deep to left and into the bullpen. 2-run home run for Eric Chavez. His 15th homer of the season. Boy, that was some battle. Chavez kept fouling off pitch after pitch after pitch, and finally drives one into the Blue Jays bullpen.
Yeah, he's a professional. He's been here a long time. 15 home runs now for Chavez. And this one's hit hard the other way. 2 more runs for the Yankees. They've scored in every inning. The 9th, the 8th, 7th, and 6th. The last 4 innings they've scored in.
Derek Jeter bouncing ball to third. Laurie has it. The inning is over, but the Yankees add 2 more here on the Eric Chavez home run, his 15th. We'll go to bottom of the ninth. It's all New York. September 29th, the Blue Jays and Yankees will hook up. On Saturday, the first 10,000 kids 14 and under will receive a Junior Jays Fan Appreciation T-shirt. Sunday, September 30th, the first 20,000 fans will receive a Fan Appreciation Player T-shirt courtesy of Home Hardware. Players include Jose Bautista, Brett Lloyd, Casey Jansen. Call the Blue Jays at 416-341-1234. Log on to BlueJays.com or stop by most Rogers Plus locations to pick up your tickets for Fan Appreciation Weekend. New pitcher for New York is Cody Epley, the sidearmer, and he comes in to work the 9th inning.
He's done a good job. I was talking to Tony Payne earlier this year, and I was asking about his bullpen and some of the surprises, and this is one of the guys that he mentioned. He said Joe Girardi hasn't been afraid to use him in tough situations, and he has come through. A nice 345 earned run average. He has handled the right-handers this season. He comes from down under. He can sink his fastball, and he throws a little bit of a slider.
11-4 New York. Edwin Encarnacion. Brett Gardner comes in defensively. This is his second game as a defensive replacement since coming off the disabled list on Tuesday. With that, Chris Dickerson goes from left to right. Little tapper out in front of home. That'll trickle into foul ground.
Brett Gardner can be an interesting guy for the Yankees. I'm not real sure if he'll be able to swing a bat, but they think they could get him to play some outfield, and then he can really run. What a dynamo he would be on the bases in playoffs. Steal that big base, and they've been known to do that before. 2009, they carried a player just as a pinch runner.
Gardner had surgery on the 24th of July to address an elbow problem. And that's why there's some concern as to whether or not he'd be able to swing a bat. We saw him throwing in New York. He was throwing from the outfield and looked fine. Had him out there and went through a whole series of outfield drills, and he threw to both second and third. 3-1. It's a strange game, this game of baseball. Blue Jays have 12 hits, but just 4 runs. And they've had extra base hits.
A couple of home runs and 5 doubles.
Yeah, you really wouldn't think the score would be 11-4 in the Yankees' favor when you think about all the extra base hits. Blue Jays did not run the bases well again tonight. That cost them some early runs. Brett Laurie in the first was thrown out at second as he strayed too far off the bag on a ground ball by Colby Rasmus. Yunel Escobar was picked off in the second inning with nobody out. A strikeout pickoff to third, and he was picked off. Rodriguez throws out Encarnacion. Now it's time for what's coming up next on Connected. Here's a preview. Jamie Thomas and R.J. Broadhead. One out. J.P. Arancibia. He's gone 1 for 4. Single in his first at bat. $25,785 on hand start of this game. The Yankees will maintain their 1-game lead in the AL East over the Orioles. The Orioles won big tonight at home against the Red Sox. The Angels are beating Texas 7-2, top of the 8th in Arlington.
That'll tighten things up a little bit, won't it?
Tampa Bay, they're trailing Chicago 3-1, top of the 8th in Chicago. And Arancibia strikes out. Blue Jays are down to their final out.
And then turn it over very quickly tomorrow, because Blue Jays have a day game tomorrow, and the Yankees, as Girardi comes out, he wants to get another pitcher into this game.
Well, Epley gets 2 outs, and Rafael Soriano is going to come into the game to get some work. Obviously not a save situation. Soriano some work in an 11-4 ball game. Soriano, his 67th appearance of the season. That was the first pitch breaking ball to Adam Lynn. Lynn homered to the opposite field back in the 7th.
It has been a while since Soriano was pitched in a ball game.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Joe Girardi's concerned about. His last appearance was the 21st against Oakland. It's been a week.
No, that's okay, but you want to keep him sharp. I mean, there was a time, especially when we went into New York on that last road trip, he was pitching every game. In fact, he saved both ends of a doubleheader against the Blue Jays.
And one of those saves was a 4-out save. So he had pitched a lot, and Joe Girardi obviously wants to get him back on the mound. High fly ball. Gardner over to check it out, but it's back into the seats. You never know what tomorrow brings, and if you keep him back another day, might not have a safe situation. So he knows what this is and gives him an opportunity to get him out there at least for 1 out.
Yeah, 5 or 6 pitches, and then he'll be fine if they need him in a safe situation tomorrow afternoon. Managers know their ball club a lot more than we do. So there's a lot of factors that go into bringing guys in the game or holding them out. And he and Larry Rothschild, their pitching coach, they've talked about this.
Yeah, and they have a plan, and when you go into it, you say, okay, well, if we have a chance, we need Soriano to pitch tonight. He's got to pitch. Don't care what the score is. We got to get him out there.
And you don't want to throw him out there to start off the inning in a game like this when you're up by 7 runs. Just get him out there to get a feel for it, since it's been a week since he's been on the mound.
The shortstop, Yunel Escobar. Goes after the first pitch, and this should do it. Jeter will go to the bag, and the game is over. The Yankees win 11-4. Hiroki Kuroda picks up his 15th win. Russell Martin with the big blow of the night. A 3-run homer in the 6th. That kicked it wide open. The Yankees have taken game 2. Stay tuned to Eastern Ontario Connected coming right up. West and Pacific, more baseball. We'll take you to San Diego.